I don't know if you know this, but AT&T recently revealed that 73 million customer records were released, both existing and former customers, on the dark web. If my information was compromised in an AT&T data breach, I'm not worried because Aura is always on, always doing the hard work to keep me safe. I value my privacy and I also value yours. You can go to aura.com/AV7 to start your free 2-week trial using this service. Also linked below in the description. Protect your information today, guys. It's super important, and I cannot tell you how much time it will save you in the event that you get into a jam. Let's get into today's video. I'm like, where am I at? Here I am. How y'all doing? Welcome. Happy election day. We are doing the trial stream over here, the afternoon session on my channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. All 200 of you that are here so far. We have to rebuild this channel. And as you guys know, I've been very vocal about it. When you spend time in other places and the algorithm doesn't see me producing content like that, it is not going to push it out to you. So one thing that you can do for me right now and help out as we rebuild is hitting the like button as soon as you come in. Friendly reminder, just do it as soon as you come in. Just as soon as you get here, just hit it. That will fix some of the situation. The algorithm will get used to content coming out here again. But listen, I'm telling you, as a content creator, you take a day or two off and everything just tanks. So if y'all could do me that huge favor, that would be fantastic. We are picking up on the YSL trial right after lunch. And it is so funny to me because right after lunch, a familiar face joined us. A very familiar face joined us. And that is one, a Mr. Squirrel Brain, who Woody referred to as Detective Thorp. Okay, so let's pick it up there and go from there. They were late coming back from lunch, but there he is. It's Detective Thorp in the flesh.
I do. Yes, sir. Detective J. Thorpe Jr., Thorpe.
And good afternoon, Detective Thorpe. How are you?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I want to welcome you back. And I want to really direct your attention to March of 2022. Have you been assigned the homicide investigation of the death of a Christian McMiller and Darius Ford?
Yes, I have been.
And when did that homicide occur?
It happened March 11th, 2022.
And where was the location of that homicide?
It was 7585 North at Fair Street, City of Atlanta, Fulton County, State of Georgia.
And is that still an open and pending investigation?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
What? That's it,
Any
Simone?
defense questions? No questions. All right, thank you for your time. You're probably our fastest witness yet.
Yes,
You are
ma'am.
excused. Call your next witness.
What? Hold on. What was the point of that? Let's go back.
Call your next. Thank
State of Georgia, 522.
Christian McMiller and Darius Ford. Really, how are you?
Jr., Thorpe.
And good afternoon, Detective Thorpe. How are you?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I want to welcome you back. And I want to really direct your attention to March of 2022. Have you been assigned the homicide investigation of the death of a Christian McMiller and Darius Ford?
Yes, I have been.
And when did that homicide occur?
It happened March 11th, 2022.
And where was the location of that homicide?
Sorry, guys, I'm on mute. I don't know what's going on with the stream. We had a little bit of a lag there. It looks like it just got fixed and stabilized. So let's get back in, go back here. Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened there. StreamYard bugging. Thank you guys for hitting the like button on your way in. Detective Thorp testified for less than a minute. I don't know what's going on. Next witness is coming in.
Well, clearly we've fallen off of our having them pass each other, coming in and going out. So if we could get back to that, it would be
Simone.
great.
Yes, Your Honor. She should be here momentarily. She was quite close to the courtroom when I left her, so something may have came up.
Nobody anticipated that witness being quite as fast as they were, I guess.
I don't know, Jimmy. They fought so hard to have him back again.
Raise your hand. You swear to testimony to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right, you just state your first and last name. And spell your first and last name. Now, let Michael close.
Rebecca Cooper Jackson, REBECCA, Cooper, COOPER, Jackson, JACKSON.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Can you tell the jury where you are currently employed?
Currently, I work for the Atlanta Police Department Crime Lab.
And what do you do for the Atlanta Police Department Crime Lab?
I am a latent print examiner. I'm the supervisor of that section.
Can you explain what you do as the supervisor of that section?
Sure. Currently, I supervise a small group of latent print examiners. We retrieve evidence. We submit evidence for searches in our APHIS system. We do comparisons, analysis for all evidence that revolves around latent prints.
Now, how long have you been in the supervisory position?
Almost a year now,
How long have you worked with Atlanta Police Department?
since 2021.
When you came on in 2021, what was your role?
I was a senior latent print examiner at that time.
And did you remain a senior latent fingerprint analyzer until becoming supervisor?
I did.
Now, before working for Atlanta Police Department, where did you work before?
I worked for the Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
When did you first begin working for the GBI?
Back in 2019 or 17, I believe.
And what were you hired for at the GBI?
The same. I was a latent print examiner. I had recently graduated from the International Latent Print Examiner Training Academy before starting on there.
What did that academy entail in regarding training?
So it was about 5 months of rigorous training on an Army base in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And we learned the history of fingerprints, how to compare latent prints. We also learned how to collect evidence, latent print evidence, to testify. We discussed court testimony, also ethics and bias, how to handle evidence, and essentially anything that had to do with latent print evidence that would be submitted in court cases.
After that training, Did you have any training within the GBI before reviewing cases there?
I did. I also had mostly repeat training, getting acclimated to their system, how they wrote reports and things of that nature.
Now, what is your educational background before working at the GBI?
I hold a degree in biological sciences from Howard University.
Thank you, Spitting Fire.
And if you had to ballpark in terms of either conducting the analysis yourself or as a supervisor, how many latent fingerprints have you analyzed?
Thousands. It's hard to quantify it. I not only do casework or previously did casework, but I also peer review others' casework. So it adds up pretty quickly.
And is peer review a part of the typical process?
It is. Latent print examiners utilize the ACE-V methodology. And so we analyze, compare, evaluate, and then verify latent print casework. And so the verification would be an equivalent to a peer review, a kind of a check and balance system.
Your Honor, at this time, the state tenders Ms. Cooper Jackson as an expert in latent print analysis.
All right, she is so qualified and may testify as such.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now I wanted to ask you, can you explain that acronym that you just used for the process?
Sure. Again, it's ACE-V, and it is an acronym for analysis, comparison, evaluation, and verification. During the
I apologize. Keep going.
Now, during the analysis phase, a latent print examiner would receive the evidence and analyze the images or lift cards that he or she received. They are looking for characteristics that make each fingerprint unique. During the comparison phase, the examiner would be given or search and find another latent print or a known print to compare it to. And we would do a side-by-side analysis of both the latent print and the fingerprint that has been presented for comparison. After doing that, we compare the minutia, the characteristics of the latent fingerprint, and come to essentially a decision. That's the evaluation phase. And then after that, that fingerprint will go on to another qualified examiner to be verified, and that's the V.
Now, I wanted to ask you about a couple terms that you may come across. What is friction ridge skin?
So friction-ridge skin is simply the skin that you find on the palms of your hands or the soles of your feet. It has ridges and furrows. It allows us to grasp objects, or walk without slipping. It's what's giving us traction to hold things.
What is an inked fingerprint?
So an inked fingerprint is typically described as an intentional reproduction of the friction-ridge skin. So it's intentionally done. If you go for a job interview, or perhaps you are interested in adoption, I think you have to have your fingerprints taken. If you work in a bar or as an Uber driver, it's essentially intentionally taking the fingerprints. You know you're having your fingerprints taken, and there's a technical person who is assisting in that process.
How would you describe what a latent print is in general?
A latent print is an unintentional reproduction of friction-ridge skin. So if you casually touch a table or pick up a bottle of water, you are leaving your fingerprints on that object.
Now, what are the basic principles for using fingerprints as a way to identify someone?
So typically, we've been given the premise that no two individuals have the same fingerprints. Fingerprints are formed in utero, both outside environment factors as well as in factors inside the womb control when the fingerprints are developed, how they developed, and so on. There are 3 different types of fingerprint patterns. But what make the fingerprints unique are the minutia, or we refer to them more commonly as the characteristics.
Now, I wanted to approach you with what's been marked as 122 Victor Victor through 122 Victor Victor Charlie.
So is that a Victor Alpha,
Yes, Your
Bravo
Honor.
and Charlie? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. And before testifying, were you able to review these documents?
Yes, sir, I was.
What are those exhibits that I just handed you? 122, Victor, and Alpha through Charlie.
The first is a latent print hit report, and it has the name of an individual who was searched on our APHIS database back in 2022, it looks like. The second is a copy of the fingerprint card of that individual. And the last is the comparison, a screenshot of the comparison that was done on our APHIS system.
And are those all documentation that you personally were involved with, either creating or reviewing?
Correct.
And are they a fair and accurate depiction of the documents for that latent print analysis that you did?
Yes, for the most part. The photocopy is a little smudged, I guess, but for the most part, this is the same content and same documents that I reviewed.
Your Honor, at this time, the state will tender into evidence 122 Victor through 122 Victor Alpha through Charlie.
I'm sorry, can I just take the,
Yeah, you may. And just for my clarity, that's 4 total exhibits?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
That is correct.
Yeah, go ahead and take a look. Any objection? All right, they're admitted without objection.
Now, when you review latent fingerprints with APD, do you yourself generate a report?
Yes.
Your Honor, this is, I'm going to approach the witness, won't be published, but with a document and ask you if you recognize that.
Yes,
Is that a report that you generated for a latent fingerprint?
correct.
And does that report pertain to the documents we just introduced?
Yes,
Your Honor, not for publication, but the state will introduce state's exhibit, and I will mark that as 122 Victor Delta. Now, at this time,
All right,
that's just for the record, I guess?
I'm not really sure.
it's to assist the witness with having the report she generated for the fingerprint analysis, because they go hand in hand.
Okay, but you're not introducing it.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, what was the case you got involved with for this latent print analysis? Who requested your services?
I received the latent print evidence, it appears on March 15th of 2022, likely from my supervisor at that time.
Who made the request?
I believe it was Sandra Tullis.
And was there a officer or crime scene technician who initially gathered the print that you analyzed?
Correct. It looks like the latent impressions lifted by is filled out by Officer A. Hogan and CST Davis.
Crime scene technician Davis?
Correct.
So when you got that report, what did you do next? Or request, I should say.
Well, we, as I stated earlier, we utilized the ACE-V methodology. So upon receiving the evidence, I analyzed the lift card for impressions that would be of value to search in our APHIS database. I did that, and it appears that one latent print was searched on the APHIS database and resulted in an identification that's listed here on the latent print hit report.
I'm going to publish 122 Victor. Is this a document that you create for latent print analysis that you do within APD?
Yes.
And who was the victim in the case that you created this report for?
Shamel Drinks.
And this was when it has a latent impression lifted by, is that the Officer Hogan and Crime Scene Tech Davis you just discussed?
Yes.
Now, I want to publish 122 Victor Alpha. What is 122 Victor Alpha?
This is the fingerprint card bearing the name Christian Johnson.
And when you place this partial latent print into your system, who did it return back to?
Christian Johnson.
And with this document published, 122 Victor Alpha, are any number of individuals' fingerprints in different databases?
Yes. Commonly, one individual may show up in one or several databases. I believe in this case, Christian Johnson showed up not only in the Atlanta.
So we're learning a lot about fingerprints, but I do have another question for you guys as y'all are coming in. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. It is election day. I'm entertaining this, got my editors on standby. I just had a thought. Would y'all like to have tonight? Do y'all want to have an election watch party? Let me know. Let me know right now. If you want to have an election watch party, if you will come back here, put a 1 in the chat. Let me know because we'll arrange it. If not, put a 2 in the chat. You're just like, hey, if you're going to watch it on the news, let me know what you think. We have fun with our community. We can make it members only if y'all want. Just a thought, but let's go back to the trial and more fingerprints.
It's a police department database, but there is a note that also it hit to or was matched to a print in the Federal Bureau of Investigation database. So FBI and APD on this one.
I'm going to publish 122 Victor Bravo. What is this? You had mentioned earlier about with copying a document, one of them had a smudge. Is this what you were talking about?
Yes, this and the page with the actual lift card. It just looks a little distorted.
What is the print on the right?
The right is the known print. That is the print that returned in the database.
And do you see those dots on that print?
I do.
What are those?
Those are the minutia or the characteristics that were marked that signal that the fingerprint is unique. So we marked those characteristics for the search. In this case, it is because we were doing a side-by-side comparison.
And real quick, guys, this is huge. This is huge for me. I just got, look at who popped in. We have Nate the lawyer popping in. He drops a $10 super chat and says, this is still going on. Fonnie got all the top people to plead and got 100% conviction rate in this case. 14 defendants left out of 28, guys. If y'all have not checked out Nate the lawyer, firstly, it's already a huge honor that he's in my chat and like sent the super chat. Nate, thank you so much. I hope you're having a great day. You got out there and voted. Huge day in America today. So it's going to be interesting. But Nate had done a few panel discussions with the lead attorney and I around the time that Fonnie was involved in the whole Trump scandal with some of the things and the Nathan Wade thing. And we were talking a lot about cash and where all that money went. We were talking about the money at Publix. When you go to Publix and you get cash back, where did all this cash come from? The DA's office did take a significant hit with Young Thug coming out of this trial and a few of the other severed defendants as well. We are now down to two defendants that have decided not to take plea deals, and we are supporting Yak Gotti as well as SB, Shannon Stillwell, and their wonderful attorneys. So we're looking forward to that. Nate, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for stopping in too. I know it's a big day. You're probably gonna have a big day on your channel too. So good to see you, Nate. And without further delay, let's keep going.
And so where you see the marks on the right-hand side correspond with those that you actually cannot see on the left.
And can I ask one small favor? There's a wooden pointer right behind you. I'm going to grab for you.
Okay.
If you could show the jury using this pointer what you were just discussing.
So here, I talked about
Do we have that lapel mic available or something if she's going to be up for very long so that everybody can make sure they hear her?
Yes, Your Honor. I will let her use this mic.
That
I'll
works as
place it
well.
right here.
Okay.
Okay. So I mentioned earlier the minutia or the characteristics. And so you would see here a characteristic where you see the circles we mark so that you have correspondence from the known to the latent. And this one, it appears a little dark. When I looked at it, it was a lot clearer, but for whatever reason, it's dark. But it would be us marking what we see here in the latent and where it corresponds to the known.
Oh, the audio. God.
Sorry about that.
Not your fault at all. And before testifying to it, were you able to look at the original, the clear quality of this document?
Yes, I did. I have a copy.
And when you did the visual comparison in this case, were you able to visually see the comparison ridges more clear than this copy here?
Yes, I used the original look card to do the comparison, so there was no issue with the comparison. Also, when we get the candidate list back, there is a score, and oftentimes the higher score identification. Of course, we still have to do the comparison, but sometimes that can be a signal of an identification.
I'm going to publish.
Oh my God, this mic is killing me.
122 Victor Charlie. And zoom in here. What is this, a copy of the initial latent print that was collected from Crime Scene Tech Davis?
Correct. Here,
Ah!
upside down, but here is where
Audio.
I saw, thank you, where I saw the latent print, and this is what Ms. Davis lifted, and then this is what was actually searched in the APHIS system.
I'm going to publish what's already been admitted as 87 Victor. Give me one moment, Ms. Jackson.
Nate, you got a second to come up?
In a
You still in the chat? Is he still here?
nutshell, when you get a
He's still here.
print like the one collected, you initially have it in the system, and back in 2022, how many comparisons?
Nate, love your opinion on this YSL case. I would love it. I will drop the link if you're interested. Just for, quick little pop-up. Would love your opinion on what's going on.
Would be returned.
At that time, we would look at a list of 10 candidates. Is at 5.
In present day, it's
What the hell is this audio?
2022, it was 10.
Correct.
And once you get those comparisons, is that when you
It's you, Atkins. Stop it. $156 days on this trial, and we still cannot. We still can't figure it out.
once you get those comparisons back, is that when you do your visual comparison side by side?
Exactly.
So you get 10 or 5 possible fingerprints, and then you use your training experience to compare.
Exactly.
And what's on the screen, 87 Victor, is this how latent fingerprints come to you in terms of like they're actually collected?
Typically, I receive a powdered fingerprint. I'm not sure why there's this red hue behind this one, but typically I get it as a powdered fingerprint. It's a lot clearer.
And if that was possibly red paint of a vehicle, could that explain why it has that red hue?
Absolutely.
I'm going to go back to 122 Victor Charlie. And this is the copy of the latent print that you initially received and conducted this testing?
That's correct.
One brief moment, Your Honor. And thank you, Ms. Jackson. I may have a couple more questions, but just 1 minute. Your Honor, no further questions at this time. Thank you, ma'am.
Are there defense questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Weinstein, any defense questions? All right, thank you for your time, and you are excused. Call your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, ma'am. The state calls Detective Bender to the stand.
All right, guys, another detective coming on up. Huge shout out to Miss Trainwreck Entertainment. I hope they hit over 30,000. Has gone ahead and gifted you guys 20 memberships. Thank you so much, Trainwreck Entertainment. Lucy says she has to shadow watch. Appreciate it, Lucy. I hope you guys hit your goal. You got a membership from Trainwreck Entertainment. Please tell this husband and wife team thank you. Content creators in their own right, doing their thing. Really appreciate them popping on into these streams. The names must be named, guys. James, Mercedes, London on a track. Donna, Daisy, Todd. Amazing Disgrace, No Face, Chelsea. Arthur, SWAT. Say thank you to our girl here.
Raise your right hand. You swear affirm the testimony you give today the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? I do. I see. I need you to pronounce your first and last name and spell your first and last name for the court's knowledge.
Okay, it's Detective Bender. It's Lisa Bender, Lisa Bender.
How are you doing, Detective Bender?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Where do you work currently?
I currently work for Atlanta Police Department in the homicide unit
How long have you been with APD Homicide?
for over 5 years,
How long have you been with APD overall?
14 years.
And what units were you a detective in before homicide?
I was in the Zone 6 unit.
And before being a Zone 6 unit, were you a Zone 6 patrol?
No, prior to that, I was in public affairs. Prior to that, Zone 5 patrol.
Now, since your time in APD and specifically homicide, have you ever had to utilize license plate readers or LPRs?
Yes,
How frequently have you utilized those in investigations?
pretty frequently. Anytime there's a vehicle involved, we're normally using the license plate readers.
And back in March of 2022, you were in APD homicide.
That's correct.
Who did you have any neighboring APD detectives whose offices were nearby yours?
Yes,
Was one of them Detective Hogan?
yes.
And can you describe just in general how you utilize LPRs?
Just in general, well, you can do it several ways. One way is if you already have a tag number, you can plug that into the LPR and you can give a time frame that you're looking for, and the license plate reader will bring back what we call hits of how many times it hits a license plate reader around the city. Another way that you can do it is you can, if you're looking to find a tag number, you can plug in a time frame and flip through pictures of the vehicles and pictures of the tags, and you can find them that way.
Now, did you ever did you ever assist Detective Hogan with a homicide investigation he was working in March of 2022?
Yes.
How did that come about?
We sit near each other, and we all work as a team anyway. And he needed some information. He needed some tag numbers for some suspect vehicles for his homicide.
And how did you help him out?
So Detective Hogan gave me a time frame of where the suspect vehicles were prior to the homicide time. And what I did was I looked at the location. He had information of them being at a convenience store. So I looked in the area for the closest license plate reader that we had to the convenience store, or reader or readers. And then plugged in the time frame to that license plate reader. He also gave me the description of the vehicles and of course the direction of travel, which helped me identify which license plate reader to look at. So once I plugged in the time frame, I knew the suspect vehicle descriptions. I was able to flip through the pictures and find those vehicles and find their tags.
And once you found those tags, were you able to search or determine other locations in the relevant time frame where those vehicles were?
Yes, so once we had the tag numbers, we were able to plug those into the license plate reader, and I put in a specific time frame that Detective Hogan was looking for, and we were able to see what we call hits when they hit across the city on the readers.
I am approaching the witness with what's been marked as 118 Victor Victor through 120 Victor Victor. And Detective Bender, before testifying here today, did you have an opportunity to review these 3 exhibits?
I did.
What are they?
These are license plate reads for a specific time frame for 3 different vehicles, 2 suspects' vehicles, and the victim vehicle.
And are they a fair and accurate depiction of the vehicle queries that you assisted Detective Hogan with?
They are.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to tender into evidence 118 through 120 Victor Victor.
All right, those are admitted without objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, I want to publish 118 Victor Victor first. And Detective Bender, you have that physical copy. There also will be one that comes up on that computer screen and the big screen behind you.
Okay.
And I'm going to zoom in at the very bottom of this first page and ask you, while that's being pulled up, what was the event timestamp, or other words, time frame you were looking for these vehicles, the date and time?
So March 14th, 2022. Excuse me. So this particular timestamp is 4:31 p.m.
And what was March 14th, 2022, at what time to what date?
What time did we query?
Correct. Or what time frame was the query in terms of, was it March 14th at 8 a.m., March 14th at midnight? At the very bottom of page 1 under event time in 118 Victor Victor.
Okay, yeah, so it was March 14th at midnight to March 15th at 11:59 p.m.
And scrolling back up to the top of page 1, what was this vehicle that we're looking at with this exhibit in general, and what was the tag?
Okay, it's a white Audi sedan, and the tag is 8 Edward David 7071.
And when you were assisting this investigation, was this possible suspect vehicle or victim vehicle?
Possible suspect vehicle.
Now, what is and can you explain for the jury, and I got a pointer to help you, kind of what we're seeing here when you get these LPR queries?
Mhm.
There's a
Sorry,
large
guys,
screen
hit the wrong
behind
button.
you. Can you kind of break down what these boxes pertain to?
Okay, sure. So, so this first box would be the license plate number. The LPR unit would be where we have the license plate reader. So that's where the license plate reader is located, and this one's at Cleveland Avenue Southwest eastbound. So it'd be facing eastbound, or that will be the direction that the vehicle is traveling, at Metropolitan Parkway Southwest. And of course, the time, the date stamp, and then the time stamp, manual capture. When it says no, it just means it automatically takes pictures every time a vehicle goes through the reader. So nobody stopped and took the picture. It's just the machine doing it on its own. And then of course there's a photo of the vehicle. So it has a close-up of the tag and then a photo of the vehicle that went through the license plate reader camera.
And is this how, when you query LPRs, that it comes back in this format?
Yes.
Now, what was so your time frame was March 14th at midnight to March 15th at 11:59. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
So what was the first? L-
Guys, I apologize. I'm over here trying to build it as we fly it. Huge shout out to Trainwreck Entertainment. I thought she had just gifted 20 memberships. She has now gifted 40 memberships and has become your stream sponsor. So I'm going to go ahead and update the banner. If you received a membership from Trainwreck Entertainment, which is incredibly generous, it's a husband and wife team. They do legal content as well. They show what really happens in these courtrooms day in, day out. They work incredibly hard, have gone through a lot of stuff together, but I'm just really happy and proud of Lucy and all the growth that she's had. Guys, this is the point where, a Trainwreck has met with me and done a consultation with me. Consultations have been limited these days because of all the travel and things that have happened over the past few days with content. So we are stabilizing and getting our calendar organized, but Trainwreck Entertainment is one of those content creators that I sat down with, and I wanted to see how I can help. And they are a testament to the success that they're seeing, not only from me, but the guidance that they get from Lead. And you got to put the work in as a content creator, and they do it every single day. So if you got one of these very special Trainwreck Entertainment memberships, please do me a favor and say thank you. We are thinking about some members only content. And here's why you should say thank you. Attorney Westmoreland has just confirmed that she's coming on the channel. I told you guys that, but we now have a date and time. It is likely that for a moment, that might be members only content. So if you got a membership, you might want to say thank you to the people that have given it to you. Thank you so much, Trainwreck Entertainment. If y'all could spam her name in the chat, mods, if you could share the link to the channel. I'm so grateful to them. I'm so proud of their growth. Congratulations on 30,000. Let's keep going.
LPR read for the white Audi in that time frame?
Okay, so the first one would be Cleveland Avenue Southwest traveling eastbound at Metropolitan Parkway Southwest on the 14th of March, 2022. And this timestamp is 3:22 and 45 seconds, 3:22 p.m.
And does it capture, and as we see that photograph at the very top, is that pertain to that LPR reader?
It does.
Now, is there another query right after that that's also Cleveland Avenue Southwest eastbound?
Yes.
And from this photograph capture, does that white Audi have any tint on the windows or not?
It appears to have tint on the windows.
Now, turning to page 2, where is the vehicle? Do you have 3 hits starting at 5:06 p.m. to 5:12 p.m.? Do you see that?
I do.
Where in general are those 3 hits located?
They're all along Metropolitan Parkway at different cross streets. So one's at Fair Drive Southwest, one at University Avenue, and one at Perkerson Road.
Now, is there different parts of the city that have more LPR readers than others?
There are.
And is there times where if you're at a particular part in Atlanta where there's a lot of cameras, you may get a bunch of LPR hits in a short span of time?
Correct. If the vehicle's traveling in that direction and the license plate readers are picking it up, yes.
Now, I want to turn to page 3 of this white Audi LPR. Where was the vehicle at 5:14 p.m.?
Cleveland Avenue Southwest traveling eastbound at Metropolitan Parkway Southwest.
And after that 5:14 p.m. LPR, when is the next hit?
The next hit is at 5:21 p.m.
Do you see, and after that 5:21?
Another hit. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
Yes, sir. At 8:07 p.m.
And when it hits at 8:07 p.m., is this March 14th?
It's still March 14th, yes.
Where is the vehicle at 8:07 p.m. on March 14th?
Cleveland Avenue Southwest traveling westbound at Highway 75.
Now, turning to page 4, after that 8:07 p.m. query, when is the next hit?
The next hit is still March 14th, 2022 at 8:28 p.m. And that's at Forest Hills Drive Southwest, southbound at 6th Street Southwest.
Now, that's at 8:28 p.m.
Yes,
When is the next hit after that 8:28 p.m.?
it is still March 14th, 2022, 8:30 p.m. at Forest Hills Drive Southwest northbound and 6th Street Southwest.
And after that 8:30 p.m. hit, when is that vehicle captured on LPR, the white Audi, next?
3:14 of 22 at 9:44 p.m. And that's Forest Hills Drive Southwest northbound and 6th Street Southwest.
After that 9:44 p.m. March 14th hit, where does it come up next?
The next hit is still same day, 3/14/22 at 9:49 p.m. That's at Windsor Street Southwest northbound and Richardson Street Southwest.
After that 9:49 p.m. on March 14th, LPR hit at Windsor Street Southwest northbound near Richardson Street, when is the next time that that white Audi is captured?
Okay, still same day, 3/14/22 at 10:12 p.m. It says the number 3 interchange drive westbound from Fulton Industrial Boulevard towards Wendell.
Now, from this 10:12 p.m. hit, how much or what time is the next hit?
The next time is 2 a.m., so that would now be 3/15/22 the next day, 2:04 a.m.
How much time passed between those two LPR hits?
A little under 4 hours.
And where is the vehicle at 2 a.m.?
It's at McDaniel Street southbound at Fulton Street.
And after that 2 a.m. On March 15th hit, when is the next LPR hit for the white Audi?
It's still 3/15/22, and it's at 12:33 p.m. at Windsor Street southbound, Fulton Street Southwest.
How many hours roughly are there between 2 a.m. to 12 p.m.?
Roughly 10. All right.
Now, turning to, or do you see another hit at 7:12 p.m.?
I do.
Where is the vehicle at 7:12 p.m.?
So this would still be 3/15/22. It's at Cleveland Avenue Southwest eastbound and Metropolitan Parkway.
Now, other than this white Audi with license plate ending in 8 Echo Delta 7071, was there any other potential suspect vehicles that you queried for?
Yes, the other one was a white Ford Fusion.
And is that 19 Victor Victor?
It is.
Now, publishing, sorry, I'm in 119. I'm publishing 119 Victor Victor. Now, is this query for the white Ford Fusion, is it the same time frame, March 14th?
Yes, March 14th at midnight through March 15th at 11:59 p.m.
And what is the tag number for this white Ford Fusion that was of interest?
It's Tango Adam David 8611.
How many queries did you get returned for this vehicle in terms of how many hits were there in that window of time?
6.
When is the first hit for the white Ford Fusion?
So the first one is on 3/14/22 at 9:02 a.m.
And where is that vehicle?
It's at Old Hateville Road Southwest, traveling northbound at Cleveland
Hateville
Avenue
Road.
Southwest.
Not Hateville Road.
When is the next LPR hit after that 902 at Old Hateville and Cleveland Avenue?
It is still on 3/14/22, 5:36 p.m. at Marketplace Entrance number 2, Camp Creek at North Commerce.
After that and this is March 14th?
Still March 14th.
When is the next hit for that white Ford Fusion after the 5:36 p.m.? hit?
That's also still March 14th, 22, 8:35 PM.
Tell us how
And
this
is that
connects
also at the old Hapeville Road northbound and Cleveland Avenue area?
It is.
to the defendants.
Now,
Does it
after
connect?
that 8:35 hit, when is the next LPR reading?
Okay, the next one is still on 3/14/22 at 9:50 PM.
And where is the vehicle, where is the white Ford Fusion at 9:50 PM on March 14th?
It's at Windsor Street Southwest, traveling northbound at Richardson Street Southwest.
Now, I'm going to republish 18 Victor Victor at the top of page 5. This was at 9:50, what we currently have?
Yes.
Now, looking at 18 Victor Victor, top of page 5.
Mhm.
118 Victor Victor.
Yes, Your Honor. 118 Victor Victor. And it's going to come up for you on the screen. What is the time and location for the white Audi with tinted windows?
It's 3/14/22 at 9:49 PM.
And what's the location?
Windsor Street Southwest, traveling northbound at Richardson Street Southwest.
Are those the same locations?
They are
How many minutes apart?
less than one, I believe.
Going back to 19 Victor Victor, page 2. And it's going to come up for us with the white Ford Fusion. When is the next LPR hit after that 9:50 PM on the white Ford Fusion?
The next one is still on 3/14/22. It's at 10:12 PM.
And where is the white Ford Fusion at 10:12 PM on March 14th, 2022?
Who was
That's
driving
on
it?
number 3, Interchange Drive westbound from Fulton Industrial Boulevard towards Wendell.
Who was
Now,
driving it?
I'm going to republish 18 Victor Victor, page 5 in the middle. Do you see, and is this the white Audi now?
Yes, it is.
Where is the white Audi at 10:12 PM on March 14th, 2022?
It is at Interchange Drive westbound from Fulton Industrial Boulevard towards Wendell.
Is that the same location as the white Ford Fusion we just discussed?
Yes, it is.
How much time is between when the white Ford Fusion and the white Audi hit at Interchange Drive westbound from Fulton Industrial Boulevard?
9 seconds.
Now, going back to 19 Victor Victor with the white Ford Fusion, after that 10:12 PM, when is the next LPR hit?
The next one is the next day on 3/15/22, and it's at 12:01 PM.
And Detective Bender, in 2022, ballpark wise, I mean, how many LPRs are there roughly in the city of Atlanta? I won't hold you to it.
Hundreds.
Now, what's that address? March 15th, 12:01, not address, but where the LPR returns at?
On March 15th,
Yes, ma'am.
it's Forest Hills Drive Southwest northbound and 6th Street Southwest.
Interesting. So it looks like Shannon's involved
I'm
in
going to
this.
republish
And Quay.
18 Victor Victor at 8:28 PM on March 14th, 2022. Is that the same location?
6th Street, yes, it is.
Now, other than the white Ford Fusion and the white Audi, did you ever conduct any license plate readers for a red Nissan?
Yes,
Is that what's marked as 120 Victor Victor?
it is.
And was that the victim's vehicle?
It is.
Now, I'm going to publish 120 Victor Victor. And was there a number of queries that returned for that vehicle?
Yes.
Going to and was it the same time frame, March 14th at 12 a.m. to March 15th at 11:59 p.m.
Yes.
Going to page 5.
So real quick, let me just give you guys a quick explainer. This afternoon, we've seen a bunch of witnesses that are painting a narrative. And these witnesses are from law enforcement. They are also, crime scene detectives. We saw 2 experts that specialized in fingerprints. So it is likely that they're trying to, because you always have to think about this. Now that we don't have as many defendants, the benefit that the state has is that their story is going to be a little bit more clear. Now, Simone had to see if some of these witnesses were available to come on to the stand and help them paint their narrative. But now you are seeing more things that are specific to SB and Yak Gotti. Right now, it seems like these cars and the things that we're talking about with this person, they're very specific to Shannon. Okay, so the last fingerprint person that we talked to and the person before her was 2 women that specialized in fingerprints. They talked about the method in which the fingerprints are extracted, things of the like. It is a little bit of dry stuff, but just pay attention to what Atkins does here, because we also had Miss Latners as well, who has been the 911 person to testify in this case. I don't even know how many times. Today was her last time testifying. But the other thing is the murder of Mr. Drinks. Now, if you guys remember, infamous Miss Sylvia had a family member of Mr. Drinks on her channel, and they talked about his murder, right? So that is something that we're probably going to get to. I want to see how Atkins and Simone, how they try to mold this narrative, because yesterday we saw Young Thug's the results of the raid at his house. And I believe it was Yak Gotti that was arrested on the scene at the house. Okay. So now we're getting to some things that still have to do with the RICO charges. They're still looking for him. But at the same time, we're starting to see how some of this stuff is related to these 2 defendants specifically. Now we're looking at some cars here, and this person that is on the stand right now, she's talking a lot about license plates. We're looking at footage to see where these cars come up, where we can find them in their course of travel. So just hang in there. I know it's a little confusing, but that's kind of an update on what's happening. But let's keep going.
Or excuse me, page 6. Where was this vehicle, the red Nissan, at 7:08 p.m. on March 14th?
It's at Lakewood Avenue Southeast, and then it says Southwest, and Shadydale Avenue Southeast.
Where does the vehicle travel after, or where's the next LPR hit after 7:08 p.m.?
The next one is same day, 3/14/22 at 9:24 p.m. And that's at Windsor Street Southwest northbound and Richardson Street Southwest.
Republishing what's been marked as 18 Victor Victor. Do you see the 9:49 p.m. LPR reading for the white Audi?
Yes.
What is the time and location for that vehicle?
So it's 3/14/22 at 9:49 p.m. and 6 seconds. Location is Windsor Street Southwest northbound at Richardson Street Southwest.
Is that the same location for the red Nissan we just discussed?
Yes.
And how much time difference is there between these LPR hits?
About 25 minutes.
And going to 19 Victor Victor, the white Ford Fusion, do you see a LPR hit around that same time frame?
Yes.
What is the time and location for the 950 white Ford Fusion LPR hit?
It's on 3/14/22 at 9:50 and 47 seconds at Windsor Street Southwest northbound and Richardson Street Southwest.
So with those 3 LPRs, those 3 vehicles are hitting the same LPR within roughly 20 minutes of one another?
Correct.
One brief moment, Your Honor. Detective Bender, after you assisted Detective Hogan with these LPR readings, did you have any other involvement with the murder of Chanel Drinks?
I did not.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
Hey, my name's Max Shard. I represent Shannon Stillwell. I'm just going to ask you a few questions about the work that you did on this case. What day did you run the LPRs?
I don't have the date I don't know which date that I ran them for Detective Hogan.
Do you have a date range?
I would imagine it was within a few days of the actual homicide.
May I approach?
You may.
Can I see those?
Yes.
And Detective, I'm not going to pretend to know more about the LPR system than you. On the lower left or lower right, it says March 28th, 2022.
Right. That's when Detective Hogan ran the hits.
So, when you say Detective Hogan ran the hits,
Mhm.
okay, explain.
Leave it to me to hit a button. Always happens. Always happens. I click the wrong button and something goes wrong. Let's keep going.
Flip through. So he ran his own copy of the information
Understood.
for the
You-
case file.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You ran it for Detective Hogan. The 328 that's indicated on the state's exhibits there is the date that Detective Hogan took what you came up with on your computer and actually printed it out to PDF. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, great.
According to what this says, it says user Hogan. So
Understood. So you certainly ran these before 328,
yes,
but your recollection is earlier than that, within a few days of 314.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now, my understanding, well, Detective Hogan, when he came to you, do you remember what day he came to you to discuss these matters?
So it would have either been, this happened late on the 14th. So it would have probably been the 15th or 16th. I just don't remember which day.
All right, and when Detective Hogan came and asked for your assistance in this matter, did he have license plates at the time, or did he ask you to do the first step as well?
He did not have the license plates. He had the vehicle description and last known location and a time frame.
So you did the first step that you talked about on direct, which was identifying license plate based on the description of a car
Correct.
and a location that Detective Hogan thought they might be.
Yes.
And from those LPR reads, you were able to get license plates, and then you ran the reads on the license plates.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, Detective Hogan, to do that first step, to try to identify license plates, he gave you descriptions of some vehicles, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what descriptions did he give you for vehicles?
A white Ford Fusion and a white Audi sedan.
And then the red Versa.
Yes.
Okay. Did he ask you, besides those three cars, the red Versa, the white Ford Fusion, and the white Audi sedan, besides those three cars,
Mhm.
did Detective Hogan ever come to you and ask you to run any other LPRs on any other vehicles involving this case?
Not that I recall.
Okay, so he did not identify to you any other vehicles of interest for you to run LPRs on?
Not that I recall. At the time, he was looking for these two specific suspect vehicles and for his victim vehicle and what time they might have been in the area.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Are you familiar with this case besides the LPRs?
No.
Okay. Have you ever seen any surveillance video regarding this case?
I know there is surveillance video. I've seen still shots from it.
Okay. Okay. But Detective Hogan just asked you about those 3 vehicles.
He gave me the description of the vehicles. And so when I'm looking for locations nearby, I'm going to look at any white vehicles. If I know that they're white vehicles, I'm looking at any white vehicles. But he knew the make and model. He happened to know the make and model. So when I'm, or, you know, in this case, it's white vehicles and then a red vehicle. So I'm looking in general for any vehicle that remotely matches the description, because it doesn't always return what type of vehicle it is. And sometimes the pictures, you can't tell what type of vehicle it is.
And thank you for that. So if you were doing the first step, which was to identify vehicles, you would be able to look at pictures. The LPR caught other white vehicles, but then you would be able to be determined, okay, is this a Ford Fusion or is this a Audi sedan?
Correct.
Okay, and that would narrow it down for you. Okay.
Right.
How long is LPR records kept?
From my understanding, at one point, it was maybe 2 years. I don't know if that's still the case.
Okay. All right. And does the public have access to the LPR readers around town, or is it just for law enforcement?
In what way?
Could I or any other citizen have access to the database that you have to tap into the LPR system? Or is that strictly law enforcement?
It's law enforcement, from my understanding.
Okay. All right, thank you. No further questions.
Any redirect?
One reading on Your Honor.
Almost done with this one.
No further questions.
Okay, thank you for your time. You step down, call your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. State will call Mr. Sandeep Groom.
All right, guys, I just found something interesting as we are preparing for what is very much possibly going to be a trial, not a trial watch party, an actual election watch party. I think it'd be fun. I've done this with my family. It doesn't matter what side you're on. Like during COVID, back in 2020, we had done election watches on FaceTime, and it's a lot of fun to do it with another group, not picking a side. Keep it to yourself. Right? Keep it to yourself. But I did want to show you guys something that I just came across, and that is Fani Willis, you guys know, is up for re-election as well. And she had spoke about this YSL case. And I do want you guys to see what happened, because I do think this is interesting. She is up against a Republican challenger, and hopefully we get those results today as well. But let's see what Fani herself had to say about this trial and the result on where we are.
The YSL RICO trial returned for the first time since rapper Young Thug was released from jail. 2 defendants now remain on trial in the case. Shannon Stillwell and DeMonte Kendrick rejected the state's plea offers last week. Today, jurors heard testimony from an Atlanta rapper who performed with the defendants, a medical examiner, and a police detective.
New at 5, only Channel 2 Action News is hearing from Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis about the dramatic conclusion to the gang racketeering case against rapper Young Thug last week. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie's live inside Fulton County Courthouse. And Mark, you actually asked the district attorney if it was worth all the trouble.
You know, the Fulton County District Attorney's Office says this is the grand jury room. where the YSL indictment was returned against Young Thug and others, where the criminal prosecution began. And now she's talking about the way his case ended, though the YSL case itself is not over.
That's crazy. This is how we started. We haven't heard from her on this. I think this might be one of the first public statements she has made since Young Thug was released last week on One Hallows Eve. This is interesting. So they started with saying, this is the indictment room. This is where the grand jury was impaneled. This is where people decided to bring charges against King Slime, all of these people. This room right here that you're looking at. Let's continue to see what Fani herself has to say.
Any regrets? Was it worth all the trouble?
It's always worth the trouble. The reality is, as you know, I have aggressively prosecuted gang violence, and there is no one above or below the law.
Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis says though she did not agree on a deal for a plea with attorneys for Jeffrey Williams, better known as megastar hip-hop artist Young Thug, she's choosing not to publicly voice whether she agrees or disagrees with the sentence. Fulton Superior Court Judge Paige Reese Whitaker.
Sentencing was in the hands of Judge Whitaker.
Handed down after Williams entered a non-negotiated plea in which he pled guilty to every charge he faced in the YSL case, except for 2 to which he pled nolo contendere, or no contest, which she says is similar to a guilty plea, except when it comes to civil lawsuits. You poured a lot of...
Before he asked her this question, Lead called that. Lead called that. Remember that, guys? That she was going to still, even though it was a NOLO, that she was still going to call it a conviction. He called that. Like, I want to send him a text right now, like, hey, man, you were right. You were absolutely right. Look at it. They are still calling it a conviction, even though Young Thug did not sign his name next to that line. Has to really change his life. His music is going to change. It has to be positive. Can you guys imagine a socially conscious Young Thug and his lyrics? People have been talking about it all weekend. Let's see how she ends this. I think there's just about a minute left, but let's see how she ends this.
Of resources took a lot of flack on this case.
You shouldn't be the district attorney if you're not willing to take flack. The reality is the world has been caught up with one defendant, but we indicted 28 defendants. 14 of those defendants are now disposed of cases. We have 14 more defendants to go, and so we are going to continue to pursue justice in that case.
Ms. Willis says though Young Thug exited the Fulton County Jail soon after his plea in a car driven by one of his attorneys, he had already done a substantial amount of time in jail while awaiting or going through his trial.
Shout out to Adams.
He's been in jail almost 3 years, so that is not a walk in the park.
She says there is room for accountability in the complicated sentence involving 5 years commuted to time served, followed by 15 years probation, to be followed by a, quote, backloaded 20-year prison term, which will also be commuted to time served if he successfully completes the probation, which is loaded with lots of special conditions.
Hope springs eternal that he will do well, because if not, he's going to land himself in prison for another 20 years.
The DA says video from gang murder cases unrelated to Williams we reported on last week underscores that gangs are a major driver of crime here.
Oh, my God.
Now, the DA's office says Atlanta police crime stats show some key violent crime categories are down as of October 7th compared to roughly the same time in 2022, and that aggressive prosecution of gang members is a key reason why.
You know, aggressive apprehension and, you know, all these things of gang members is the reason why. I lived in Fulton County for the last year, probably middle of 2023 into 2024. My house got robbed. What are they talking about? Like, people went, like a boy, like an 18, 19-year-old went and stole stuff from me. And you want to know what he took? He didn't take electronics. I had all of this studio stuff set up, no, you didn't take Apple products. You didn't take a $700 soundboard. You didn't take any of that. You took YSL shoes. You took Dior shoes. You took a YSL purse. It was sitting right next to an Hermes purse. But what are you talking about? Crime is down. That is funny to me. That is why I've always been so interested in the results of this election, because yes, tough on crime is one of the standards in it. But I just want people to mean what they say when they say it, because I'm telling you guys, as a person that has been born and raised in Massachusetts, and I went down there and I called 911 and people thought I was bugging. They're just like, oh, did you leave the door open? I'm like, I lost $5,000 worth of things. I'm not calling to make this up. And it's like, 911, you really don't believe? Why would I make that up? And then people are like, oh, well, some people in these complexes, they set up insurance frauds and things. I said, listen to me. I don't have time to set up some insurance fraud scheme. Can y'all send a cop out here? Takes the cop like 25 minutes. And even he thought I was bugging, like, okay, well, why didn't they take anything else? It's December, maybe it's cold. Like, and the place that I was living, guys, this is how crazy it was, in Buckhead. Around Christmas time, you know what people do? They steal mail. They steal packages. All of it gone. Whatever you've ordered for your loved ones from Amazon that you are planning to give as gifts, mail has been stolen. And you want to know why it's stolen? Sometimes they're in lock boxes and things. In the community I lived in, why the UPS person left everybody's mail open? Why are people stealing mail? What? You want to steal my bills? Maybe they're looking for checks. I don't know. What do you mean? Crime is down. Ooh. Let's keep going. That just got me hot. But I think it's just 10 more seconds and we'll go back to the trial. But I wanted to look at this because as a voter, I was very interested.
Reporting live inside the Fulton County Grand Jury Room, Mark Winnie, Channel 2 Action News.
That was Window World. That was pretty intense. Channel 5 reporting live. That was really, really intense. Okay, let's get back to the trial. We're almost done for the day. But I just wanted to take a brief moment and talk about that because we knew that it was going to be like, oh, yeah, it's another conviction. But wow, who would have thought? Amen.
You swear to testimony the other way, the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. That's it. You need to state, sit down. State is really the first and last name.
Okay.
Tell him, Tone. Like, I want my
My name is
5,000
Sandeep
back.
First name Sandeep, Sandeep. Last name Groung.
Hey, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell the jurors how you are currently employed, sir?
I'm sorry?
How are you currently employed?
Oh,
What do you do for a living?
I work at a gas station right now.
Okay. And back in 2022, can you tell the jurors, were you working at the same place or somewhere different?
Right now I'm working at somewhere different, but before I used to work at BP at Windsor Street and King's Liquor.
Okay. And can you tell the jurors, how long did you work at the BP gas station and the King's liquor store?
Approximately 3 to 4 years.
Okay. And while working there, can you tell the jurors, what did you do for the BP gas station and the King's liquor store?
So I used to manage both of the stores, just ordering the new products and getting in touch with the vendors, just regular stuffs, nothing much.
And for the entire time that you worked there, how long did you say you worked there?
3 to 4 years.
Were you always working in management for both of those establishments?
No, I started as a cashier.
Okay. And can you tell the jurors, as working as a cashier and then up into a management role, did you have access to the video surveillance system that I guess the BP gas station and the King's Liquor Store had?
Yes, before when I was working in the cashier, I didn't have the access, but after that I moved to the management and then they gave me access to the records.
Okay. Can you tell the jurors a little bit about the camera system or the video surveillance system that the BP gas station and the King's Liquor Store had?
It was NetGeo. The company name was called NetGeo, and both of them had the same system which works with the DVR. And King's, I think they had 18 to 20 cameras, and BP they had around 24ish.
And can you tell the jurors the cameras that you just described that are on the property or the premises, did the majority of them, or can you tell the jurors, did the majority of them, I guess, capture, or were they pointed towards the, I guess, inside of the?
Yes, mostly inside.
Okay, both establishments?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and was there any cameras that, I guess, that captured, I guess, the outside portion of where the pumps, where the gas station, or?
Yeah, there were only 2 cameras that were pointing towards the pumps.
Okay. Now, I want to show you State's Exhibits 187 Victor Victor through 189 Victor Victor. Now, Coach John.
Yes.
And if you'll just take a look at those, you tell the jurors, do you recognize those?
Yes, sir.
And how do you recognize those exhibits?
It's a satellite view of the street towards Fulton and Windsor, where I used to work at the King's Liquor and the BP.
Okay. And that's State's Exhibit 187 Victor Victor?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell the jury?
Did he say that he worked at the liquor store and the gas station? Were they connected? Let me know. Did I miss that, chat?
Do you recognize, or how you recognize State's Exhibits 188 and 189 Victor Victor?
This 188 Victor Victor is going towards Windsor Street, and it's facing right in front of the gas station where the BP is. And 89 Victor Victor is facing at the back of the building where King's Liquor is, at the bottom where you see the glasses.
Okay, and do all of the exhibits, the first being State's Exhibit 187 Victor Victor, does it fairly and accurately depict the area which you worked and you've described off of Windsor Street back in March of 2022?
Yes.
And as it relates to this State's Exhibit 188 and 189 Victor Victor, do those photographs also fairly and accurately depict the actual gas station and King's Liquor store that you worked at back in March of 2022?
Yes, they do.
Okay. This time around, the state would tender what's been marked as State's Exhibits 187 through 189 Victor Victor.
They're admitted.
And
And real quick, guys, huge shout out to Sequoia. She is super, super sweet. Over the weekend, while I was traveling down to Atlanta to do what? To vote. That's what I did. Sequoia sent me a $50 Cash App, and she is now passing through and dropping an $80 super chat. Sequoia, thank you so much. No comment, no question, pure love of the game. Super, super sweet of her. She does not have to do that. Does not have to do that at all. Because, sis, you understand. When and some of the other women can attest to, I know I'm on a rant, guys. I know I'm on a rant. Like, I just filed my business taxes. I still had to pay the state of Georgia $4,000 or $5,000 for, like, you know, something tiny. I don't even live there anymore. I still had to pay those taxes. And it's crazy to me that $5,000 worth of things that I worked hard for during my career, thousands of dollars for. And people, it's like people thought I was lying. Luckily, they didn't take the Hermes though. You know what I'm saying, Sequoia? Like they didn't take it. But thank you so much, sis. If you guys can spam Sequoia in the chat, like her comment, that would be fantastic. Let's get back to our worker here to see what he saw.
186. And I apologize, I should have shown you this as well. Do you recognize State's Exhibit 186, Victor Victor?
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors, how do you recognize State's Exhibits 186, Victor Victor?
This one, this is a pen drive with the footage of the BP video surveillance of the video that was used in this case, I guess.
Okay. Is it an overview of, I guess, the area that you've kind of talked about that travels from the BP gas station to the intersection of
Yes.
Windsor and I-20?
Mhm.
Yes. All right. Your Honor, at this time, the state would tender what's been marked as State's Exhibit 186, Victor Victor, into evidence.
All right, it's admitted.
Okay. Mr. Groom, in the screen in front of you, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 186, Victor Victor, in a second. And I want you to try to orient the jurors as to what they're looking at as soon as I get it up. Okay, can you see it? Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so can you describe for the jurors, I guess, is this the front area of the gas station that we talked about?
Yes, this is going towards Windsor Street to the front side of the building where it faces the gas station.
Okay, and do you see, if you're looking at the left-hand back side of the exhibit, do you see where it says FedEx on that building?
Yes.
Can you orient the jurors or explain to the jurors the road that's in between the FedEx and the BP gas station? What road is that?
Windsor Street, I guess.
And Mr. Groom, is this how the gas station that you were working at the BP in March of 2022, how it looked that day?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to skip to. Okay, and if we're looking at 1 minute and 14 seconds into State's Exhibit 186, Victor Victor, do you see, I guess, if you were looking at the back middle of the exhibit 186, Victor Victor, like the bridge and the tunnel area?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jurors, is that towards, I guess, the I-20?
I-20.
Okay. Now, I'll go ahead and show you State's Exhibit also. I'll get them all in 116, Victor Victor. Can you look at that and tell me if you recognize it?
Yes, the
Okay,
video
and-
surveillance that we had from BP and Kings.
Okay, you said it's the video surveillance of the BP and King gas station.
Yes.
And did you actually pull that video surveillance and provide it to members of the Atlanta Police Department?
Yes.
Okay. And you have an opportunity to review the footage that's on State's Exhibit 116, Victor Victor.
Yes, sir.
And did the footage that you reviewed on the USB or the jump drive in 116, Victor Victor, did it fairly and accurately depict all of the files that you provided to members of the Atlanta Police Department?
Yes, sir.
This time around, the state would tender what's been marked as State's Exhibit 116, Victor Victor, into evidence.
That's admitted.
want to show you real quickly. States Exhibit 189, Victor Victor. And while I'm pulling it up, could you kind of explain or orient to the jurors? So we talked about the BP gas station and we've seen it. Can you explain to the jurors where in relation to the BP gas station that we've seen is the King's liquor store that you also managed back in March of 2022?
So right behind the building, there's a hill that goes down the King's liquor store. It's right behind the building, but there's a slope that goes at the bottom of the liquor store.
Okay, so in States Exhibit 189, Victor Victor, can you, and that way you don't have to get up. I'm gonna point. You see the top of States Exhibit 189, Victor Victor, with the red lettering where it says King's Liquor Store?
Yes.
Okay, and do you see the fence that's in, I guess, in front of that area? Yes?
Yes.
Now, is that where the entrance?
Yes, we use the entrance from either BP or either from this side.
Do you guys know what's so strange about this witness? I wonder if he's from Nepal. There are some countries in Asia that blend with India because they're so close. If you close your eyes, because his name is Sandeep, if you close your eyes, you can hear an Indian accent. But if you look at him, he looks very Asian. So I'm wondering if he's from Nepal. It's so interesting. Listen for that. Let's keep going.
And so if you were, do you see the building? It's a mid-rise or high-rise building that you can see
Yes.
above. Yes. Now, I guess on the other side of that building,
It's right across.
is that where the BP gas station is?
Yeah, right in front of it.
Okay. And can you tell the jurors, this is Windsor Street?
Windsor Street.
Okay. Now, do you remember, or I guess when the detectives requested you to pull footage, did they ask you to pull footage from 9:25 p.m. to approximately 10:30 p.m. on March 14th of 2022?
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay. And you said, did you provide, I guess, can you tell the jurors, did you provide footage for all the cameras on the property?
Yes, when I download the files, it goes through all the cameras.
Okay. Now, I just want to show you a couple clips. I want to show you camera 19. Okay, Mr. Groom, in camera 19 on States Exhibit 116, Victor Victor, is this the camera that you were describing that kind of captures the outside area where the gas station is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is from March 14th of 2022?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes?
Yes.
And do you see that white Audi, how it's, I guess, backing up right now?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jurors, I guess, the area that it's backing into, where is that in relation to the entrance of the BP gas station?
It should be right in front of the door.
Next, I want to show you camera angle number 3.
Okay, we can't see that. So let me see if I can skip this.
Here's area on the left-hand.
Store we're looking at here.
Okay, what do we
This is
got?
the inside cashier's area on the left-hand side. And right in front of the door as well.
And this camera angle 3, you see at the top left-hand corner of the exhibit where it's relevant about 1:43 seconds into that angle.
Yes, sir.
You see that the brake light?
Yes.
Is that the area where the white Audi had backed into in relation to the front door that we saw?
Yeah, it's right near the front door. So yeah, that's it.
I say it one more time because we were talking at the same time.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's like I said, it's near the door while it backed in, and that's it.
And would that be right there?
Uh-huh.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And then just want to show you 2 more.
Oh, some of you guys are saying Filipino. It's the accent for me. I wonder what country he's from. I don't know. My bet's on Nepal. I could be wrong. All right, we gotta skip ahead.
You see, is it up for you?
Yes.
Okay, where in the store is this camera
This
located?
camera is in the middle of the store where it's facing the door, the main entrance, and towards the cashier section.
Okay, and did you see where the individual came in with the blue shoes and you see the white long sleeve shirt?
Uh-huh.
Is that I guess the only entrance into the gas station?
That's the only one.
Okay. The King's Liquor Store footage. Is this the area that you had described that would have been, I guess, behind
Behind the
fence?
store, yes.
Okay. And is this the only camera angle that points towards the street area or Windsor Street?
Yeah, towards the street, yes. This is the only angle that points towards the street.
And Mr. Groom, when you were, I guess, providing this footage to members of the Atlanta Police Department, were you just providing footage for specific timeframes that was
That were
requested?
asked for. Mhm.
Okay. Did you know anything about why or what was going on as it relates to the footage that you were providing?
No.
Okay. And I don't think I have anything further at this time.
Any questions for this witness?
I do have a few.
All right.
That require
Let's go, Max.
Mr. Bonte's technical expertise if he's able to help me. Sure. Thank you. Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Could you do me a favor? Could you pronounce your last name for me?
Groom, G-U-R-U-N-G, Groom.
Groom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Groom, nice to meet you. My name is Max Shard, okay?
Yes,
I
sir.
represent Shannon Stillwell. Okay. We just reviewed 4 different cameras that were at your establishments,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
How many total cameras are there at these establishments back in 2022?
On BP, there's around like 20 to 24.
Okay.
And In Kingslicker, around 18.
Okay. Now, my understanding is is someone from the police department asked you to retrieve some footage.
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall what times they asked for the footage on 3/14/22?
3:14.
I might have been right. Thank you, Tremaine.
I think they, what I remember is they asked me to give me a footage from certain time to certain time. So that's what I pulled up, but I don't remember the exact time and dates.
Very fair. Okay, so do you remember how long the footage was?
No.
Okay. Now, Mr. Abate was kind enough to pull up, I believe this is camera 19 of the BP, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And now, I can't, because we're on Zoom, there's a, do you have that on your screen?
Yes.
Okay, you see how it says Adam Abate's screen in the bottom left? Okay, do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
The bottom left? Okay. What I want to know, and I don't think this is blocking something, but if it is, I want to know when we're looking at this picture right now, or if we played this video,
Yes.
how would we know what time it is Eastern Standard Time?
There should have been.
That's a good question, Max. You got him stumped.
So yeah, on this screen, I don't see any time, but it should had a side section where when I use the app on the GeoVision, there's a side stamp that has time and date. But I think when the video was downloaded, it doesn't. Maybe I can see it, or it's not. I can't see it yet because.
Okay, and from what we have right here in front of us, and I guess you don't remember the exact time frame that they asked you to. So from what we have in front of us, you can't tell us exactly what time any event occurs on this video, correct?
Yes,
Eastern
based
Standard
on this
Time?
video.
Okay, cool. And is that also the case, going to be the case with camera 3? And if you could pull up camera 3. Thank you, Mr. Abate.
Yeah, guys, we have not seen Miss Love since Thug was released. The 3:17 p.m. is the current time. I'm a few minutes behind them, guys, about an hour actually. But they have a 30-minute break that we can skip.
And so, for instance, this is camera 3, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that is inside the BP from behind the cashier.
Yes.
Okay. From what we have here, we can't tell the exact time that anything's occurring, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Let me ask you this while we're on camera 3. On 3/14, when the police came and talked to you, did they ever ask you who the clerk was working in the store that night?
No, they didn't.
Okay. Do you have any information that the police officers spoke to the clerk that was working at the BP that night?
I have no idea about it.
Okay. The other camera, what was the other camera from the back of the store?
Sticker?
No, from the back of the BP, with the third angle that we viewed. What camera number is that?
Kingslicker, it might be 19, something like that, outside.
Okay. Could you
18 or 19, something. Oh, this one?
Yes.
This is 12, I guess.
Camera 12, okay. And the clerk would be on the left behind that plexiglass, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And just to make sure we're on the same page, none of these cameras will have the exact time displayed.
If it was on the app while we use it, it has the current timestamp. But while we download it, it should have it, but I can't see it.
Okay, well, and let me ask you, the time is from an app, you're saying, an app as
in, yeah, it's a software.
For security?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any information that the times on this app are synced to, say, the clock used by APD for 911 calls? Can you testify that the time on your app is exactly in sync with this city's 911 system or Fulton County's 911 system?
No, I don't think so. It's a little off, I guess.
Little off?
Yeah,
When you say
maybe,
a little
maybe
off?
15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Oh, no.
Okay. How about, you're familiar with the FedEx across the street, across Windsor Street?
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with their surveillance system?
No.
Do you have any reason to believe that
Max
your
is pacing.
surveillance system, which is a little off from the county's 911 system, is in sync with the FedEx system?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you. I have no further questions.
That was good. That was very good. There's no timestamps on it.
Very briefly, Mr. Groom, do you see at the bottom of, I guess, the state's
Yeah.
exhibit as it relates to camera angle 9 from the King's Liquor Store?
Yes.
Do you see the date and time? As
Yes,
it relates
on this one I can see it.
Okay. Can you,
On that
tell the jurors-
one.
I know it's very small. What is the date and time that you're saying?
It is 3/14/2022, 9:28. 9:26, yes, PM.
It's still good though. That actually had a really good impact for Max because it proves that the state didn't, not all the evidence they put in front of him has timestamps on it.
Mr. Shar asked you a little bit about, I guess, the time that you saw, I guess, in the app that you are able to use to pull the video surveillance footage. You remember talking to him about that?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that you believed it was a little off, or that, and I think you said roughly 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Can you tell the jurors, I guess, how do you know that?
Because when I used to compare it with the time that my clerks, my fellow cashiers, they told me about anything I have gotten stolen or anything, they tell me the time. So I used to run it always like 20 minutes off, and then I used to find around 15 to 10 minutes in between.
That's big.
Okay.
So it's
you
not
would know
accurate.
it sounds like what you're saying is, you know, the general time that an event occurred. So here, I think your example was someone had taken something from the store, right?
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you would then, I guess, take that time and then add, you said 10 or 15 minutes to that and look in between that time period. Okay. And that's how you would find the event and
whatever we need to find. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I have anything further, Your Honor.
Oh my God, Abate. Guys, here's why that's bad. You're basically saying that you put a witness on the stand and you were going to rely on timestamps, right? But now we realize after, and this is Max being quick, Max realized that there weren't timestamps on the other pieces of evidence. And he's like, but, you know, the businesses across the street, the FedEx, they have timestamps on their stuff. It is reliable. It's not off. Abate just got back up to try to clean that up in front of the jury and re-clarify some things, but it doesn't look good in front of the jury. And this is why I like that we're going to get through this trial faster. Before the end of the year, there's less fluff, there's less shenanigans, there's less objections, thank God. But what we are seeing is we're able to get through this stuff quicker. I like this pace because this is what a normal trial's pace is like. It's still longer, but you're able to see the effect of having these witnesses in the mistakes that people make. You know, the state didn't realize that some of those pieces, they're always scrambling and scraping, putting everything together last minute, probably didn't realize themselves that all pieces of footage did not have a timestamp on it. And then Max was able to pull it out and say, okay, it doesn't have a timestamp on it. Here's why that's a problem. And you know, Abate getting up there and saying, well, how do you know when these events occurred? Like, how would you know that? And he said something about a 20-minute period, and he would go back and look himself. Well, guess what that becomes? That's not reliable evidence. That is evidence based off of someone's what? Memory. So that is actually not a good look for the state. And I don't know what Abate just think he fixed, but that's not good. Let's keep going. Do you guys remember the Affinity guy who worked at these people? Do y'all remember that? A man that worked at the Infinity dealership was used as a witness by detective, I think it was Thorp, who went to the Infinity dealership, printed out a picture and said, hey, can y'all hey, serviceman, can you tell me if this picture right here is an Infinity? I'm not surprised that this is still continuing, but let's keep going.
Just overall, whether it's 10 or 15 minutes, is it fair to say that any times, whether it's on the BP or on the King's Liquor surveillance, are approximate times, not exact?
On King Sticker, it is an exact time, but on BP, it's a little different.
Is King's Liquor lined up? And I'm not talking about an hour off or 30 minutes off. I'm talking about to the second. Is it lined up with the Fulton County 911 system?
I have no idea about that.
It's not.
Yeah, I have no idea about this.
If he knows.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't know.
Okay. Is it lined up exactly with the FedEx surveillance system? If you know.
I have no idea about it.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your time. You may step down, call your next witness.
Thank you.
State would call Mr. Moffitt.
Shout out to the Fit Lawyer ATL. She could see it. The evidence is weaker and weaker without all the attorneys and other distractions. We're getting to it faster, and we see the holes faster. Good to see you, Fit Lawyer ATL. All right, who do we got next? Next witness.
You swear affirm the testimony to give the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Yes, sir. Bill, your first and last name to the moment before we move.
First name is Moffitt, Moffett. Last name is Wells, Wells.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Can you tell the jurors how you are currently employed?
I am a security, what we call a security specialist with FedEx Corporation.
Okay. And how long have you been a security specialist for FedEx Corporate?
Around about 10 years now.
Okay. And can you tell the jurors a little bit about, I guess, what you do as a security specialist with FedEx Corporate?
In general, just investigations involving company fraud, theft, workplace violences, and also responsible for like our security systems that we have in this area.
Okay. And can you tell the jurors your responsibility as it relates to FedEx? I guess, how far did they reach here within the city of Atlanta and further?
As far as my responsibilities, I'm responsible for at least 2 or 3 buildings in Atlanta, moving all the way down to LaGrange and Columbus.
Okay. And you talked a little bit about the security system that each building or that FedEx Corporate has for their facilities. Can you tell the jurors, does that include video surveillance cameras as a part of that?
That does include that.
Okay. And can you explain to the jurors, I guess, roughly or generally, how many cameras usually are within the property of a FedEx building, let's say the one located at 401 Windsor Street here in the city of Atlanta?
For a location that size, anywhere between 30 to 35.
Okay. And I want to show you what's been marked as state's exhibits. 117 Victor Victor, and then 190 through 192 Victor Victor. You'll just look at those again and let me know if you recognize them.
Yes, I do.
Okay. We'll start with 190 Victor Victor through 192 Victor Victor. Can you tell the jurors what are those photographs of?
Those are photographs of the FedEx location on 401 Windsor Street.
Okay. And do the photographs fairly and accurately depict how the FedEx facility or the building looked back in March of 2022?
Yes, they're accurate.
And then as it relates to States Exhibit 117, 117 Victor Victor, can you tell the jurors how you recognize that exhibit?
This is a disc. Looks like it's been copied from from the video surveillance footage that we have.
And prior to your testimony here today, have you had an opportunity to review the footage that's on that disc?
Yes, I did.
And the footage that's on States Exhibit 117 Victor Victor, is it the same footage that you provided to members of the City of Atlanta Police Department of video surveillance footage from 401 Windsor Street?
It is.
Okay. This time around, the state would tender what's been marked as States Exhibits 117 Victor Victor through 190 through 192 Victor Victor.
All right, so not, start that entirely over,
I'm
the
sorry.
numbers.
So it's 117 Victor Victor and
Okay.
190 through
Gotcha.
192
All right,
Victor Victor.
those are admitted. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes.
No objection.
Okay, admitted without objection.
Okay. While I am pulling up some of the exhibits, could you explain to the jurors where, I guess, the layout for the FedEx facility that's located off of Windsor Street here in the city of Atlanta?
Well, the layout, a portion of the building sits facing the Windsor Street side of the building. Another portion just faces that I-20 side. And that's pretty much the forward-facing side of the building that's facing the public.
Okay. And in States Exhibit 189, Victor Victor, in the top, I guess, left-hand corner of the exhibit, do you see, I guess, a portion of the side of the FedEx building?
Which one did you say?
Sorry, it's also on the screen in front of you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you see in the left-hand, I guess, corner, middle area of that exhibit, the FedEx building?
Yes.
And the street, I guess, that's in the middle of the exhibit and that's in front of the FedEx building. What street is that?
That's Windsor Street.
And if you are to continue to travel on the right-hand side of the street towards what you can see as a bridge in the middle back of States Exhibit 189 Victor Victor, what intersection is that?
I don't know the exact street name, but I know that's the I-20. I guess that would be an I-20 exit.
Okay, an entrance. And then if you were to go, I guess, behind the FedEx building going, if you're traveling on the, I guess, the right-hand side of the left-hand side of the street, you're looking at the exhibit, would you, I guess, get in to the BP gas station and the King's liquor store?
Yes, you'll be heading towards the gas station at the top of that. There's a hill. top of
Welcome,
the hill there.
Don.
Now, if we're looking at that exhibit, can you kind of orient the jurors or explain to the jurors the camera that is there a camera that captures part of the street from 401 Windsor Street building for FedEx?
Yeah, there's a camera that faces Windsor Street in the direction of the I-20
And do you see that camera in State Exhibit 192, Victor?
Yeah, it'll be that right there.
Is it the white, the white camera at the top of the exhibit?
Correct.
Instead of taking the time with the technology to put it up on the show. Can you explain to the jurors, kind of orient them, the camera, I guess, quality as it relates to what it captures outside of the property of the FedEx building into the street, Windsor Street?
It catches the entire street down to there's a traffic signal before you get to the overpass of I-20. Captures all of that area down there.
I want to show you a State's Exhibit or published State's Exhibit 117, Victor. And is this the angle that you just described as it relates to the camera that we could see in State's Exhibit 190, Victor?
Yes, correct.
And were you asked to provide the camera footage from the evening of March 14th of 2022 between 9:30 and 10:30 by City of Atlanta police officers?
Yes, I was.
And now, when you provided the footage to the detectives or members of the City of Atlanta Police Department, did you have any knowledge as to why you were providing them the footage?
No.
Okay. And did you have any involvement in any of the investigation in which they were requesting the footage for?
No.
Okay. Was your only involvement complying with the request from members of the City of Atlanta Police Department, the footage that we see here in State Exhibit 117, Victor?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
You know what? This is actually super accurate. Lead and I one time had to pick up a package in Atlanta, and we went to the FedEx facility and noticed that the fencing has freaking barbed wire on the top of it. This is FedEx surveillance footage. FedEx is not safe. They have barbed wire fencing. Unbelievable. Let's keep going.
And my last question, sir, what we're seeing here in State Exhibit 117, Victor, is this the only camera that captures Windsor Street?
Yes.
Okay. I lied, I do have one more question. So if we're looking at the top of State Exhibit 117, Victor, where it stopped about 4 seconds into the footage, you see at the top, you see the car lights up there?
Yes.
Is the direction in which they're traveling, is that towards the BP gas station, or is that towards the I-20 underpass that you were just describing?
That's towards the I-20 underpass.
So that is the last question.
All right, any questions, defense questions for this witness? Sure.
Mr. Moffitt.
His first name is.
Oh. Moffitt Wells. My name is Max Shard. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So you were asked to provide surveillance footage to the police. What times were you asked for?
I don't remember the exact times. It's been a while, but
Okay.
it was, I guess there was a subpoena that was submitted and we gave the footage for those hours.
Okay, but you don't remember the exact times?
I don't remember the exact times right now, no.
Okay, and are there any timestamps on the videos that you provided?
I don't see a timestamp on there. It looks like it gives a date range. I mean, a time range, but not a timestamp. But when I'm looking at.
Okay, and when you're able to view this offsite in the system, does it have times in?
Some of our systems do, some of them don't, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, I want you to be honest with me, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And Does FedEx, to your knowledge, take pains to sync their surveillance systems or the times on their surveillance systems with any other surveillance systems or government entities or anything like that?
No, these are all independent. Our system is independent of everybody else's. It's just, it's a company that we use that just runs our system.
Okay, and so you could not say that your surveillance system, the times on it would be synced to phone records or Sprint or anything like that?
No, I can't say that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Redirect.
Just one question.
Sure.
I'm going to pull up State Exhibit 67, Victor Victor. And what you're looking at in State Exhibit 67, Victor Victor, is this a close-up view of the underpass that you described earlier from the video footage in State Exhibit 117, Victor Victor?
That appears to be, I mean, as far as I know, as much as I go there, yeah, that appears to be the same thing.
Okay. I don't have anything else, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for your time. You are excused. Call your next witness.
Your Honor, the state called Investigator Nico Flores, and Your Honor, this is one of the.
He's going to be longer. All right, let's take a, no?
Yes, he's going to be longer, but yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's take a break.
We got TiVo time. They are rocking and rolling. Going through this so much faster, less objections, less love, less issues. We really might be done by the end of the year, guys.
I don't know, where am One of the witnesses that shouldn't be shown on camera. Okay, got it.
Thank you, Rockin' Robin LA with the 20. Says Max is making Adams witness look bad and asking Mr. Abate to pull up the photos too. Make him sweat, Max. Thank you, Rockin' Robin. Louisiana.
We'll be back whenever the juries have their break.
All right, so we've got a bit of TiVo time, so we're going to go ahead and skip all of that and fast forward to when the break is over. Miss Simone
at some point.
is here.
Every day, would be able to drag him. Sure. It's in.
Okay, it sounds like there's some contention happening, so let's listen.
It's in, and then we'll get the jury out. And what's our time estimate now? I know y'all weren't quite sure we'd go through the end of the day.
He's our last witness, Your Honor.
Well, I'm not saying drag him out, but but y'all weren't able to get anybody else. All right, I really would, as we're moving forward, let's really try to make the most of every day. And I'd rather go closer to 6, closer to 5, so that we can, get done at some point.
Well, Your Honor, I do believe that it's a very strong likelihood that the state will rest, if not by the end of next week, by the following week.
What?
That would be good.
Whoa, 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 hold on. What did y'all just hear? For those that have been impatient, Simone, and I hate that I found this still image. Simone Hilton just said to the world that we are very likely to have the state rest its case next week. This case was projected to go originally with all the defendants that we had, projected to go into March of 2025. They wanted King Slime that bad. They don't have anything. You have these two defendants that are on trial for murder. There is a reason that Max Shard is confident. There is a reason that Doug Weinstein is confident. What do y'all have against these two defendants? And if you're going to keep the RICO charge, how are they now kingpins of YSL? That was huge. Right there and then. On election day, you heard it here first. Simone Hilton said that the state is prepared to rest their case by next week. Do you know how happy this judge is? Because what does that mean for us, guys? What does that mean before Thanksgiving? That means, and it won't take long. It won't take long. You're going to see Doug Weinstein at his best defending his client. You're going to see Max Shard at his best defending his client. We see that the state has nothing else. They're zipping through people. Yesterday, they were zipping in. Today, they're zipping out. All the mistakes, not tolerated anymore. All the mistakes, easy to point out. All of the mistakes, oh yeah, you had timestamps on this stuff. Oh, what about the rest of it? Detective Thorp, squirrel brain, that what he called him, sat on the stand today for 1 minute. One. If the case is weak with these last two defendants, was it strong to begin with? I'm going to ask you guys in a poll. Hold up. We about to put a poll up. I can't believe she just said that, but let's keep going while I put together this poll.
Trying to factor in the fact that we've got jury charges that I do not think are going to be the most simple any of us have ever tackled. And that's going to take some time. And we've got holidays. And anyway, we can deal with all that later, but I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, ready for the jury. And I know y'all aren't going to be able to do a complete jury charge request by Monday, but can y'all start trying to put something together and at least give us something to start working on?
Mr. Weinstein's working into it.
Thank you. Okay. I love it. Thank you.
I'm always willing to fill in for this. Yeah, it's not true. I'm willing.
I still can't believe that they're going to be done next week. Whereas before, the scrambling, the scraping, the waiting, the love objections, all of that. Now all of that is gone. And then all of a sudden we can race to the finish line in a week? Are you kidding me? This is funny, guys. And voters in Georgia, there's still time, baby. Pay attention to this. They're going to be done in a week. We're all just paychecks, just money coming out of every single paycheck. Just taken out of your paychecks. Pay this jury. Jury tried to get off this morning. Jury was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm biased. Let me go. Let me go. And they're like, well, you might be gone in a week. Like, what? Oh, my. What about Moontunk? Who's, oh. Moontunk. Think about that, guys. Moontunk.
Thank you. All right, if you won't mind swearing our next witness, and we can just go by last name.
I cannot believe this.
Raise your right hand. You swear firm testimony you give today. Hold true to the truth. I see. We need you to pronounce your first initial and your last name. Spell your last name on there.
Okay. N as in Nancy, Flores, Flore.
This is the last witness of the day, guys, and I believe this is also a detective, Detective Flores. He does not or cannot be shown because of other investigations he's working on right now. So brief reason why you're not seeing him, and we get a good look at Simone instead as she's asking these questions. I am still in disbelief that they're going to be done in a week, but let's keep going.
Yes.
And where are you currently employed?
Atlanta Police Department.
And how long have you been with the Atlanta Police Department?
Since 2015.
And what is your current role with the Atlanta Police Department?
I'm an investigator in the gang unit.
And how long have you been in the gang unit?
Since 2020.
And within the gang unit, do you have a particular shift that you work?
Yes, day shift.
Day shift?
Yeah.
How long have you been on day shift?
Since 2020.
And what are some of your job duties and responsibilities as an investigator in the gang unit?
To investigate gang activities, gang crimes, gang violence, document gang members and their associates.
And as a gang investigator, do you at times have to respond to crime scenes?
Yes.
When would the gang unit be tasked with responding to a crime scene?
When requested per the zone supervisor or zone officer.
Are there certain types of crimes in which you usually get these calls for?
Yes. Homicide, robberies, aggravated assaults, just anything under the sun that they feel like, gang investigator needs to respond to.
Hang on just a second. If you hear an objection, if you don't mind waiting until I rule on it, and then if I sustain it, then
Yes.
we'll move on. If I overrule, you can answer, but hold on for just a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
Speculation has founded motives of others.
I'm going to overrule that.
And investigator, if you could speak up for me a little and speak
Okay.
into the mic. Do you sometimes respond to shootings if there's a shooting at a home or multiple shots fired to a home?
Yes.
When you respond to a crime scene, what do you do as a part of your investigation?
We tend to interview victim witnesses, trying to find a gang connection, a gang nexus within the crime.
And I know you said you work the day shift. Are there times with members of the gang unit are on an on-call in an on-call capacity?
Yes.
How does that work?
Typically after our shift, there's an on-call investigator that get called out by a supervisor or the zone per their request.
And does that on-call investigator work the overnight shift?
No.
So when you're on call, what would make the on-call detective get called out to the scene versus you, if you're on duty, getting called out to the scene?
We're typically on duty 1 o'clock. So we're on during our regular shift. The responsibility of on-call investigator after hours, typically when they're off the clock, that they respond to the incident.
I want to take you back to March 16, 2022. Were you in the same position that you're currently in with the gang unit?
Yes.
And on that day, did you have the occasion to respond to 2830 Waters Road in Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes.
Let me ask, what was the weather that evening? Do you recall?
It was dark and it was raining.
And honestly, Ty, Juliana, how do they do it? Like, I can't even do it. I can't try it either. I mean, I don't know how to smack my lips like that.
And when you responded, do you remember about what time you respond to that location?
It was about 2:30 a.m.
And were you on duty or were you on call that evening?
I was on call that evening.
And I'm sorry, I said in the evening.
That morning.
That morning.
Yeah, that morning.
Why did you respond to that location?
Sergeant Suazo advised dispatch to reach out to the on-call gang investigator, which was me. And they called me and I responded to the scene.
Did you respond with anyone else?
No.
Did any other gang unit investigators meet you at the location?
Yes.
Who was that?
Investigator Dabney.
Did anyone else respond to the scene with you and Investigator Dabney?
Yes.
Who was that?
Investigator Viverito.
At the time, back in March of 2022, where was Investigator Viverito working?
The Fulton County DA's office.
Once you arrived to the scene, tell the jurors what you found when you got to the scene.
2830 Waters Road. The house was shot up, multiple shell casings on the ground. Vehicles in the yard. A vehicle was parked directly in front of the house. That's about it. From the first walk up, that's my first observation of the house.
And when you made that first observation, what, if anything, did you do?
I spoke to Sergeant Suazo and he briefed me on, what transpired before my arrival.
After receiving that information, what did you do?
I went inside to speak to one of the victims that was inside of the home.
Do you recall who you spoke with?
Cavante Battle.
And without saying what he said, was he able to provide you information?
Yes.
After speaking with Mr. Battle, what, if anything, did you do?
I went outside to speak to the individuals that was inside the vehicles.
And when you said they were out of vehicles, what vehicles were they inside of?
Marked patrol car.
And to your knowledge, were these individuals detained or arrested, or neither?
Detained at the time.
When you were inside of, when you spoke with Mr. Battle, was that inside of the house?
Yes.
Did you notice any camera or surveillance systems inside of the house?
Yes.
Permission to approach your I'm going to show you what's been marked as 163 VV. Tell me if you recognize it as 163 VV.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you recognize it?
That was a TV on the wall with the surveillance cameras.
And does that appear to look like the TV on the wall with the surveillance cameras that you saw back on March 16, 2022?
Yes.
Your Honor, this time the state would like to admit 163 VV into evidence.
163?
Yes.
All right, it's admitted.
Thank you. Permission to publish?
You may.
Now, at the time, is this the surveillance video that you looked at or that you saw inside of the home when you went inside?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not any of the surveillance videos were collected on that night on March 16, 2022?
No.
No, you don't know, or no, it wasn't collected?
Oh, no, it wasn't collected.
Now, you said that after you spoke with Mr. Battle, you went back outside and you spoke with some other individuals. Who did you speak with?
The next individual was Miles Farley.
And was Mr. Farley able to provide you any information about what had occurred?
No.
Did you speak with anyone else?
Yes.
Who else did you speak with?
Shannon Jackson.
Okay. And where was with Mrs. Jackson when you spoke with him?
In the rear of a patrol vehicle as well.
Was he able to provide you any information about what occurred that evening?
No,
Was he able to provide you any information about any of the vehicles that you had saw inside at the home?
yes.
What was he able to tell you?
He identified Audi as his.
Right. And was he able to tell you were there multiple Audis outside?
Yes, it was a silver and a white one.
Okay. Was he able to?
And guys, since we are going to have a election watch party tonight, and again, you are all invited. It is going to be open to members only, just so it's safe. Not picking sides. We just want to watch it together. So we're going to have a little gathering tonight. Court looks like it's adjourned for the day. So I am going to speed this up a little bit. We just have about 20, 30 minutes of court time. So I'm going to put Simone on high speed because they don't have any evidence anyway. So let's just watch what they have a little bit faster. Watch this great cross-examination and go from there. So I'm going to put it on 1.5. Let's go.
Tell you which one?
Yes, the white one.
All right. And did you ultimately take pictures of that Audi?
Yes, yes.
Did you speak with anyone else?
Yes.
Who else you spoke with?
Demikion Garlington, Cortez Arnold, Craig White. But it was just basic demographics, names, and stuff like that. They weren't able to provide any information about the incident that occurred.
Okay. And with Mr. Garlington, where did you speak with him at?
Rear of a marked patrol vehicle,
Now, with Mr. Garlington, Mr. Farley, and Mr. Jackson, were they all in the same vehicle or different vehicles?
separate.
And on March 16, 2022, did you take any pictures of those three individuals?
Yes,
And did you take pictures of the cars that were at the home?
yes,
And did you take pictures of the white Audi that Mr. Jackson said that was the car that he was using?
yes.
I want to show you what's been marked as exhibit 164 VV to 169 VV. Tell me if you recognize 164 VV to 169 VV.
Yes, I recognize.
How do you recognize 164 VV to 169 VV?
There were all the photos I taken.
And are those the photos you took on March 16, 2022?
Yes,
And do they appear to be fair and accurate depictions of the photos that you took on March 16, 2022?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
You're right. This time the state would like to admit Stacy Exhibit 464 VV through 169 VV.
Okay.
164 through 169.
VV.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, those are admitted.
Thank you. We're going to start with 166 VV. Looking at Stacy Exhibit 166 VV, who did you take a picture of?
Shannon Jackson,
And what is he wearing?
pink hoodie with a pink skull cap.
And does the hoodie have any particular words on the front of the hoodie?
I see letters, but I can't really make out what word.
We're going to zoom in for you.
INLY.
Okay.
Not really.
Pink
We'll
Floyd.
look at 167 VV.
Oh,
Who is
no.
in 167 VV?
Miles Farley.
He's
And
the cruiser.
do you see an item inside of his left pocket?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever ask him what that was or take that item out of his pocket?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Okay. Looking at 168 VV. Who was in 168 VV?
Demikion Garlington.
All right. And now looking at 169 VV. Is that the area where some of the cars were that you, when you took the pictures on March 16, 2022?
Yes.
All right. And now looking at 164 VV and 165 VV. Now, is this the white Audi that Mr. Jackson said was the car?
Yes.
All right. Now, what is the
All right, listen, some of the non-members are like, AV, please still have the party. We want to come. We want to come. Don't lock us out. Don't lock us out. Don't be like the lead. Don't do it. Let's just have the party. Everybody's invited. Let's see what happens tonight. They're crazy people. We might have to make some changes, but we're gonna have the party. Let's just start there. All right. Compromise. Let's go.
Tag number on that vehicle.
It's a Maryland tag 8ED7071.
I'm going to approach what's already been admitted at State's Exhibit 118W. Do you see that same tag on State's Exhibit 118W?
Yes.
And have you seen an exhibit like this before?
Not this one, no.
Not this one particularly. Have you seen this? Do you know what the LPR readers are?
Yes.
Have you seen this as an LPR reader?
Oh, yes.
What is the date and time of this last LPR read, Exhibit 118BV, page 1?
3/14/2022 at 4:31 p.m.
Here comes Drama's letting y'all know. I trust sis here.
At page 5 of State's Exhibit 118BV, do you see an LPR read at 9:49 and 6 p.m.?
Yes.
And is it for that same tag number 8ED7071?
Yes.
I'm sorry, can we clarify the date that we're talking about with time?
Is that March 14, 2022?
Yes, March 14, 2022 at 9:49 p.m.
And what was the location of that read?
Windsor Street Southwest, northbound, and Richardson Street Southwest.
Now I want to show you what's already been admitted at State's Exhibit 116VV. And while we're waiting for that to pull up, after you spoke with each of those individuals, and you took the pictures, did you have any other involvement in what occurred on March 16, 2022?
No.
Showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 116BV with camera 3 at approximately 1 minute and 44 seconds. Do you see an individual in that video with the same clothing in which Mr. Jackson had on March 16, 2022?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see the similar same pink hoodie?
Yes.
All right. And do you all see the same pink kind of cap as well?
Yes.
Now I want to show you same Exhibit 116VV, but camera 14. And we're just going to play starting at 2:19. I want to pause. Did you see the individual that kind of spun around?
Yes.
Okay. Looking at when you went to 2830 Waters Road on March 16th, is that the same individual, Miles Farley, that we just saw in this video?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see the item that's on his head in that video?
Yes.
All right. Can you describe it?
Looks to be a burgundy skull cap.
And I'll just zoom in. Okay. And was that the same person you spoke to on March 16th, 2022?
Yes.
All right. Now I want to direct your attention to March 17th, 2022. Did you have the occasion to respond to an address on Meadowlark Lane in East Point, Georgia?
Yes.
And why did you respond to that location?
Undercover officers got behind the white Audi A5 with the Maryland tag 8E.
I'm going to object to A here, but also to the witness reading off.
Sustained.
Okay. Without reading off of the report, why did you respond to the location?
Undercover officers got behind a white Audi A5 with Mr. Jackson being the driver, leaving Chick-fil-A. He was a suspect of an incident that occurred the day before.
How do you?
You may.
Okay, so it looks like they approached. We have TiVo time. Skipping.
When you responded to the incident at Waters Road on March 16th, was there anyone arrested at the Waters Road incident that you responded to?
No.
Okay. When you responded to the Waters Road incident, were the individuals there considered victims in that case on March 16, 2022?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you said that you had gotten behind the white vehicle because Mr. Jackson was a suspect. You said in the day before. Was he a suspect in the incident that happened on March 14th, 2022, a homicide?
Oh, yes, March 14th, yes.
Okay. Once you, let me ask you this. Did you ever make it to the location in East Point, Georgia?
Yes.
Okay. What happened once you arrived at the location?
I walked to the rear where officers detained two individuals, and I picked up a skull cap and a backpack.
Where was the skull cap in the book bag when you recovered those items?
In the bushes, directly behind the house.
And that house, was that a residential home?
Yes.
Once you recovered the book bag, did you look inside of the bag?
Yes.
What, if anything, was inside of the bag?
Narcotics.
Once you looked inside the book bag, what, if anything, did you do with the book bag and the narcotics inside of the book bag?
I held on to it until I was able to hand it over to another investigator.
What investigator?
Investigator Belknap.
And then did Investigator Belknap take control and custody of the book along with the narcotics?
Yes.
Commissioner,
You may.
I'm showing you what they marked as 201 BB and 200 BB. Tell me if you recognize the 201 BB and you look inside the contents. Before pulling it out, just look inside of 200 BB.
Yes, I recognize.
And first starting with 201 BB, how do you recognize 201 BB?
This was the backpack recovered in the bushes behind the house.
And is that the book that had the narcotics in it?
Yes.
And now looking at 200 BB, how do you recognize 200 BB?
This was the hat recovered as well with the book bag. Skull cap.
And do they appear to be in the same or similar condition as when you found them back on March 17th, 2022?
Yes.
This time the state would like to admit 200 BV and 201 BV into evidence.
Okay. All right, those are admitted.
And permission to publish.
You may.
Oh my God, Petty. Petty Pendergrass.
And that was the hat that you found outside.
Yes.
All right. Now I'm going to pull back up 168 VV and next to State's Exhibit 116 V at 217. Looking at State's Exhibit 116 VV, which is on your right-hand side, and 168 VV, which is on your left, do you see the item that's on Mr. Farley's head?
Yes.
Do you see a similar looking item in his pocket on the left-hand side?
Yes.
Court's indulgence for one moment. I have no further questions.
Police Court. Investigator Flores, good afternoon. My name is Max Shard. I represent Shannon Stillwell.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Seems like we got 3 different dates to talk about. March 14th.
14th.
Guys, this is bad. She was already done. She said that witness was supposed to be like an hour. The judge is like, okay, bring it to 6 p.m. At this point, if you look at the timestamp on the camera, it says, or on the screen, it says 4:31 p.m. Simone was done with this person in 20 minutes. Whoa. The state, in my opinion, guys, I don't think they have anything. So it's actually even more commendable that Doug and Max stayed on. Imagine if they can get, and I asked Doug when he came on my show in the summer, he wants a not guilty conviction. Not guilty. This is a big risk, but you're looking at 2 of the finest attorneys that you have in the state of Georgia. And they said, okay, we could take a plea deal, but we want our guys to walk away clean if we can. Amazing opportunity to learn from the best. Look at Kokomo in the corner. This is great. This is great. I mean, like you could see it. Simone is done already with this investigator. I mean, it's just moving so fast, but let's keep going. And I think the judge knows this.
March 16th, March 17th.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try to go from one to the other to stay organized here.
I got you.
Let's start with the last one first, March 17th.
Okay.
Okay. That was the day that my client, Mr. Stillwell, you said Mr. Jackson, we're talking about the same person, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the day he was arrested on warrants for the March 14th homicide, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you talked about, you talked about people were following or pursuing the car to this address that you responded to. Were you part of the pursuit?
No.
Okay. The car that was located on Meadowlark Drive, where Mr. Stillwell was arrested, was a white Audi, correct?
Correct.
Okay. The same white Audi that was present on March 16th?
Correct.
And the same white Audi that he is alleged to use in a horrible crime on March 14th, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, you indicated that you found a book bag with drugs or narcotics in them, correct?
Correct.
And that was in some bushes at that Meadowlark Drive address, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Present at the address was Mr. Stillwell, but also another individual by name of Cormarvius Nichols, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did you see who had control of that book bag?
No.
Okay. Are you aware that, do you know what Atlanta Phoenix, APD Phoenix is?
Yes.
That's helicopters, correct?
Yeah.
That can follow pursuit.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you aware if APD Phoenix, let me ask you this, do they record from the air?
Yes.
Are you aware if APD Phoenix caught on video who discarded a bag full of narcotics into the bushes?
Yes.
Okay. Was it Mr. Stillwell?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Your understanding is that Mr. Nichols was also in the Audi on the way to that Meadowlark Drive address, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And it would certainly be illegal for Mr. Nichols or Mr. Stillwell, for that matter, to be in possession of narcotics in a book bag, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Was Mr. Stillwell charged with those narcotics?
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. I'd like to move back to the first date, March 14th, 2022. You were present at the scene on Windsor Street that night, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You were called to the scene. Who called you to the scene?
Dispatch.
Okay. What time did you arrive at the scene?
Oof. I don't remember.
Okay. Did you write any reports regarding your work on the night of March 14th, 2022?
I believe it was an internal memo with no report.
Okay. Now, when you arrived, there was a deceased gentleman in a red Versa, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You did not recognize the deceased when you arrived, did you?
No.
Okay. You were a gang investigator for APD since 2020, correct?
Correct.
Your focus is on the gangs of Atlanta, the members within those gangs, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and you did not recognize Mr. Shamal Drinks.
Correct.
Okay, in fact, later on in that night, law enforcement had to use a GBI scanner to use his fingerprints to determine his identity, correct?
No, I believe his ID was on scene.
Okay. Okay. Either way, you did not recognize it.
No.
Okay. Now, the stages had you compare some photos of Mr. Stillwell and also of Mr. Miles Farley, correct? Remember that? Side by sides?
Yeah.
Okay, you recognize the left part of those side by sides as being from the BP surveillance from March 14th of 2022, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that was the night of the Shamal Drinks homicide.
Correct.
On that surveillance, you identified, I think just now, Mr. Stillwell wearing a hoodie and a pink hat, correct?
Correct.
All right. Let's move to to March 16th of 2022. Okay. You respond to 2830 Waters Road, correct?
Correct.
All right, and let's just be clear. You responded and located Mr. Stillwell. I don't know if you located him, but Mr. Stillwell was at the residence, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you and other law enforcement strictly viewed him as a victim for March 16th, 2022, correct?
Correct.
Okay. The incident involved someone shooting at that house repeatedly.
Correct.
Okay. And by the time you arrived, Mr. Stillwell was in the back of a police car.
Correct.
Okay. Wearing the exact same clothes from the BP video, or at least the exact same hoodie and distinctive pink hat.
Correct.
Okay. When you arrived, you sought to speak to Mr. Stillwell, correct?
Correct.
Okay. He was not under arrest.
No.
He was detained as a victim.
That's important. Max is so good.
Correct.
Okay. He was not legally obligated to answer your questions.
Correct.
Okay. And you asked some questions about March 16th. What had happened?
Correct.
Okay. And you said he didn't provide any information, but in fact, he said he was present and people shot at the house. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. But importantly, you asked him what car he was driving, correct?
Not he was driving. I asked him what car was his.
Okay, you asked him what car was his. And this is 2 days after you were alleging, you being the police,
Mhm.
he used a white Audi in a homicide.
I don't think that was known at that time.
Is there not video at the BP?
I don't think that was collected the night of the incident.
Okay. Well, you asked him 2 days after a homicide that the police are accusing him of, what car is his? And he is not legally obligated to answer any of your questions, is he?
Correct.
And he told you, while wearing the exact same hoodie and exact same hat that he was wearing in that BP video, he told you that white Audi is mine, didn't he?
Yeah.
He didn't hide that fact.
No.
Besides those 3 days, was that all the work you did on this case?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Correct. Is there a redirect? Right.
On March 16th, let me back up. On March 14th, you
Just
said you
3
responded
days.
to the homicide of Shamel Drink. Is that fair?
Yes.
Had you seen the surveillance video when you arrived on March 14th, 2022?
No.
So did you know that Mr. Stillwell was in that surveillance video when you went to the house on March 16th, 2022?
No.
For the homicide case, who was the lead detective?
Shannon feeling himself right now.
On March 16th, 2022, do you know if they had solved the homicide yet?
No.
No, you don't know, or no, they had not?
No, I don't know if they solved it or not.
You said that you arrived at 2830 Waters Road on March 16th at about 2:30 a.m. on March 16th?
Yes.
Do you know what time the homicide occurred on March 14th?
No. I know it was early morning hours that I responded to that as well.
What time did you think you responded to the homicide?
Maybe 1 a.m.
And so would that be 1 a.m. on March 15th?
Correct. Sounds about right.
Love Max's face right now. That's been my face this whole trial. That face right there.
So when you asked Mr. Stillwell about that vehicle, did you know at the time that he was connected to that vehicle at the gas station?
No.
Do you know if it was after?
Oh my God, guys, they don't have a case. Look at this image. Doug is checked out doing something else. Look at Max's intensity. And look at the way Shannon is side-eyeing Hilton. Shannon is side-eyeing her. He's like, ma'am, what are you talking about? You cannot place me there. What are you asking him? Oh my God, this is so good. This case is about to be wrapped up, guys. And you're looking at excellence as far as criminal defense. Let's keep going.
After he told you it was his car that they connected him to what they saw in the surveillance video at the gas station?
No. They connected the dots about 2 to 3 days later.
And that's your memory of it?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. If you saw him at 2:30 a.m. on the 16th, on March 16th in the morning, and you were arresting him on March 17th.
I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
thinking about 14. From the 14th.
So to be clear, on the morning of March 16th, when he's telling you about this vehicle that is his, you have not connected him to the homicide that happened on March 14th, 2020.
No.
I have no further questions.
Investigator Flores, you use a couple terms. Solved, connected the dots.
Ooh.
Says who?
Ooh.
I said those words?
Yeah. You agree with them? Who? Says who? You?
Hang on.
Says who about what?
Overruled.
Who says you solved anything?
Ooh.
I didn't solve anything.
Okay.
3
Now,
days.
I'm going to ask you again. It's not about what dots you connected. If you do 2022, you would know what you did or didn't do, correct? I'm not talking about what the police know. I'm talking about what you would know.
Correct.
Okay. And Mr. Stillwell, knowing about March 14, 2022, and what he did or didn't do, never shied away from owning that Audi, did he?
Overruled.
Didn't even hesitate. He said, that's the car that I am driving, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thank
All right.
Max's, man.
Thank you for your
Shit.
time, and you are excused.
Wow. Give it up for Shard, guys. He was not about to let that go
All right.
down.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to remind you that you're to decide this case based only on the evidence admitted during this trial and the law, as I will later explain it to you. Remember, you can consider only the evidence that's admitted in this courtroom. Don't do any research on your own. Don't use the internet or any other source to find out any information about this case or about the law, or to find out kind of anything hypothetical you're wondering about this case. Don't watch, read, or listen to any accounts of this trial, whether online, social media, radio, anything. And don't discuss this case with anyone or let anybody discuss this case with you or around you, or even
Sure
amongst
did,
yourselves,
Taz.
until you have retired to deliberate as a jury at the close of the evidence. And I will see y'all in the morning at 9.
All right, jury heading out. What else we got, Judge?
All right, anything we need to put on the record before we break for the day?
Just my daily inquiry about what the agenda is for tomorrow
Okay.
from the state.
We covered a lot of witnesses today.
Ain't got
Good
any more
job.
left.
Thank you.
We're trying, I love Your Honor. That's our phone number.
Ain't got any more left.
Are there going to be any witnesses tomorrow that aren't on this week's list? Is that what y'all need to know basically then?
And everyone is, looking for what I gave for this morning, but everyone, I'm partnering with my team, but everyone, on page 1 here tomorrow, so except for number 1. So number 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Guys, hold up for a second.
So she's alleging 4 witnesses tomorrow.
And then number 7 on page 2 here tomorrow.
5,
Number 10 on page 3.
6,
Number 20 on page 4.
witness 7,
Number 22 on
8.
page 5.
Oh my God, 8 in a day.
For number 24, we have a different custodian of records, but the custodian will be here.
9 in a day. They ain't got nothing left.
And then we should be able to go in order from 25 on. I know the person said we want to go to 5:36, but I'm going to try to make it work to get to 5:36.
Thank you. I'm at least 5:30. Okay.
Could I just make an inquiry at the state? Mr. Arnold, number 1, do you know when you plan on having him in?
Ashley's client.
Making some decisions about that, about whether or not Mr. One will be here or not.
Okay, thank you.
Ashley's client.
If he is going to be, is it still the date y'all had contemplated previously? Or
15th.
might that change? All right, y'all just make sure you keep Ms. Merchant apprised.
Yes.
She wanted 5 days notice. Okay. All right, anything else?
Yes, John.
Okay.
As it relates to one of the witnesses that we requested to not be on camera, there are some members of staff of the Atlanta Police Department who would like to further explain to the court.
Yeah, that was
Dave
Starks. Okay, are they available now? Okay. Do you want to do that up at the bench or how do you want to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
The well has run dry, Petty Pendergrass.
Or whatever this discussion is there going to be anything else? Okay.
The state will be sending this person field an email in regards to a witness issue for your honor. To
Okay. You want to approach up here to the bench and somebody from,
Yeah, guys, I did text Ashley today. We were texting over the weekend because we're like, hey, with everything happening, the only reason why I wanted to wait to bring her on the channel is because she wanted to make sure that her client testified first. She was trying to schedule him. She's been prepping him. She's been doing a lot of work with him. Love and them kept playing games with what days this person's coming on. They had been working on it. And it's like, they had been waiting for months, like 7-8 months. You're playing with people's time. And then finally, now that the case has shifted in a sense, last time I talked to her, she didn't think they were going to call her client, but it seems like right now they're trying to make a decision on whether they want Ashley's client to come in. And if he does, they're whittling down. They've got the final witnesses in this case, the final witnesses that they're going to end in a week to prove that these two gentlemen are the wolves of the pack and are guilty of RICO and the own individual crimes that they are charged with that many of their counterparts have pled out to. We do have a little bit of TiVo time. I think court is about to end. Quick bench conference.
so.
Here we go.
Everybody is okay with him not being here. So we're going to test class tomorrow. So we want to leave him not. All right, anything else? Okay, everybody have a pleasant night, and hopefully we can just see each other at 9 in the morning. Okay.
Guys, this is hard. That concludes court for the day. They cut the feed. They cut the feed that quickly. How quick have things changed? How fast have they changed? We went from Young Thug being released last week to just a few days of court left. We have tomorrow, so there's scheduled to be a full day of court tomorrow. Thursday, they have off. Friday is a non-jury day. And if she's saying they're going to be done next week, this thing is very quickly coming to an end. And I polled you guys. The poll, I believe, is still up. I said, what was the state's evidence strong enough to begin with? 95% of you say No. All right, let's read some supers. I'm going to walk this dog, have some dinner, and come back for our election party tonight. It's going to be fun. Election watch party. I can't wait to see you guys. It's going to be a really great time. Shout out to Spit and Fire hits me with the 2, says juror said the state was taking too long earlier, and they are. But at the same time, that juror wanted out. And this morning, Judge Whitaker was just like, hey, you might be able to get that sooner than you think. Shout out to D, the Virgo, gifted you guys 5 memberships. Thank you, D. Shout out to Deonra with the 2, says, I wonder, will the state cause another mistrial? That could happen too. Simone, the fuck up. And you guys see that these are, you're whittled down to some of the, like, I think all the defense attorneys are brilliant in their own way. But these 2 are some of the best. One of my favorites has actually been Max Shard. And I'll be honest, I like his style a little bit better than Steele, to be honest. A lot of people love Steele. He's a fan favorite for the defense attorneys, but Max is honestly my favorite. So it's really, really great to see that. Shout out to a girl from Texas, popped on in, gifted a membership. Thank you so much. She gifted another one. Rockin' Robin LA dropped the 10, says, wow, I learned something about the fingerprints. I hope we will continue to show support for these 2 young men. And yeah, it looks like they're going to get a result soon within the next week. So there is some excitement about that too, because they're in great legal hands. They really are. Shout out to Nate, the lawyer, who popped in with the 10, says this is still going on. Finally got all the top people to plead and got 100% conviction rate. 100% conviction rate in this case. 14 defendants left out of 28. And Nate, the lawyer, is right. I showed you guys a news clip. That's exactly what she said. Thank you so much, Nate. And so happy that, he's coming over to my channel. I don't get a lot of big creators that support me like that. So it's always great to see him on my side. Shout out to Here Comes Drama with the 25, says, watch party. Please be respectful in the chat. She's warning you. She is warning you. One of my trusted moms is warning you. So we're going to have fun tonight, guys. And, we're not doing the whole divisive thing. It's just a place, opportunity to come and watch the results as they come in. We'll look across the country and see what states are reporting first. The first projections, I believe, are coming in at 7. I want to look at Georgia reactions because that is going to be important. So much of this population is concentrated in Georgia. So whatever side you're in, we just want to see what the results are. So thank you so much. Here Comes Drama. T House has been a member for a month, says, I didn't vote, but I'd love to come to the party. Listen, I had a whole debate with one of my best girlfriends like 3 days ago. And she's like, who did you vote for? And again, it's a personal decision. I don't like to talk about it because whatever side you pick, someone else is not going to agree, right? And so I think it's better to be objective and to talk about good policies on both sides and bad policies on both sides. Got into a conversation with this girl. She's the only person that I told who I voted for. And she was just like, I can't believe you did that. And I was like, yeah, well, my interests are different than yours. I'm a business owner, right? And, I just have certain concerns about the economy. But the economy is my policies that are important to me, but that might be different to other people. And who knows, maybe the other side has options that might fit what my concerns are as a voter. But at the same time, I also lived in Fulton County and can't make it up, guys. I got robbed. What do you want me to do? I got robbed. In a place where I pay taxes as a very high earner. What are we going to do about that? But at the same time, as a voter, I didn't go to town halls. I didn't ask questions to both sides of the aisle. I could have. That opportunity is available to many of us. But at the same time, I want to see what the results are. So here's this friend, right? I'm talking to her. Do you know what she said to me? She's like, I can't believe you did that. I had all of these opinions. Do you know this girl has never voted in her... I had to get off the phone. I said, first of all, I'm already busy. I can't. You want to judge people for who they vote for, but you're not voting. So shout out to T House because you reminded me of my friend. Thank you so much. Shout out to Trainwreck Entertainment. Says she was shadow watching. She supported the stream so hard. Is your stream sponsor. Gifted 20 memberships. Then ended up gifting another 40, came in with another 5. And I'm sorry, guys, StreamYard has been glitching today. So as I'm clicking on this, it's frozen. There we go. Train wreck with the then the 40, and then hits me with the 5. Says, okay, I'll be driving and listening. Love you, girl. Love you too. Kelly Kell, our favorite 2L law student, says officially a 1L at the AV School of Law. Thank you so much, Kelly Kell, and I hope you're having a great day. You are getting ready for finals soon. I know that is coming. So I hope you're studying super hard, and I know you're going to do great. Great law student. So I'm really excited for her. Kamala gifted it a membership. Thank you, Kamala. Spitting Fire with a back says, Spitting Fire is back with the 5 and says, what was this supposed to prove? I'm lost now. They ain't got nothing, Spitting Fire. We knew that. They ain't got nothing. It's going to be interesting. Final week of this trial, guys. Can you believe it? Shout out to Hair Alchemist with the 2 says, AV, I'm so confused. I don't understand anything. I think I popped in when I saw these super chats came in. So I hope it helped for you guys. Shout out to Critical Conversations HR with the 10. No comment, no question. Pure love of the game is proud that we are seeing this over the goal line, over the finish line. A lot of defendants are not in the courtroom anymore, but there's still 2. And it's important for you guys to see all of this. This I missed, and I apologize. Huge, because he's always stealthy, Huge shout out to the Art of War, who gifted 20 AV memberships. Art of War, thank you. I see you do this on Leads chat all the time, and the fact that you're coming over here to my side to do it as well is super, super thoughtful of you. Thank you for supporting both of our communities in the way that you do, and gifting these memberships as well. It's very thoughtful of you. I know you may not be a newer name. You may have been spending some time with us, but I recognize your username throughout this trial and all that you've done for us. So I really sincerely want to thank you. If you have been gifted a membership from the Art of War, when it came in, we can go back and check. This was a while ago. So if you got one, please say thank you to the Art of War. And Art of War, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for helping me grow my community. It means a lot. It really does. Shout out to the Truest Dude with the 2 says, Fani needs a reminder that she is not above the law. I just want, can I get my stuff back? Can I get my 5,000 back? Could they investigate that? Like, I really think it might have been a little bit different. Tough on crime. Where? Shout out to Sequoia, who popped in with the 80. Super, super generous support. We did cover this one. No comment, no question, pure love of the game. Here comes Drama with the 5. Brings her to 30. Says, Fani, take off that watch and pull up the drawers. I mean, if you know the joke, you know the joke, right? Shout out to D with the 2 says, political parties becoming sex. I voted Piru. Oh, did you? Piru. I'm probably saying that wrong because I'm tired. Rockin' Robin LA with another 20 says, Max is making Adam Abate's witness look bad and asking Abate to pull up the photos too. Make him sweat, Max. Max actually had an amazing performance today. Doug usually does too. Doug is funny, guys. He really is. Doug, I think, did a great job yesterday. Today, Max had some amazing performance. They both do, but definitely towards the end, we saw how he that fierceness instantly came up when it came time to defend Shannon. And Shannon, for himself, I think has learned a lot about the law as he's been sitting with Max for 156 days. He looked and was just like, I don't know if you guys peeped that part where he had whispered something to Max, and Max instantly went in, and Shannon didn't need to say anything. He just leaned back like, I didn't say that, or I didn't do that. What is this guy talking about? Trainwreck Entertainment back with another 20. She says, can we help the one Lo-Fi too? She needs more watch hours to get monetized. I just love her work. AV, I will be here for a watch party. Wonderful. Guys, what is Trainwreck talking about? You guys see that we have a little group of creators that we help whenever we can. The one Lo-Fi, her name is Terica. I did support her a ton, still do. And here's the thing. She has a lo-fi beats channel. Some of you guys like to listen to lo-fi music if you're working, folding laundry, if you're mowing the lawn, if you're driving. I like to listen to it myself to focus. And thank you so much, Mix Chick, for dropping the link. If one of the mods could drop the link to Terica's channel, that'd be great. What I do is when I am focusing and I want to listen to that music, to help Terica with her watch hours and to get monetized, what I do is to let y'all know that I was there. I will leave a comment and say, AV was here. I listened to your content for an hour and a half. I really like supporting other creators because I see how hard it is. I also see how easy it could be too. Some people get their start with a boost and that's fine, but others are trying to get it out of the mud. And that matters to us too. Terica's been around and has supported me and Lead generously. So we don't forget about her. But check out her channel, guys. Thank you so much, Mixed Chick, for dropping the link. It's music. You can't go wrong with music. I don't know if you guys have heard of that channel. The one, I think it's the Lo-Fi Girl, Terica's like that, but better, in my opinion. She focuses on urban music, urban beats. Check it out. I love it. I really do. I've been waiting to say that too, Trainwreck. So thank you for reminding me. She has my endorsement. She definitely does. Chill Panda with the 2 who says, who is doing your graphic work? There's a combination, Chill Panda. I have an amazing, wouldn't trade him for the world. Has probably been the #1 editor that has rocked with me for almost 2 years. Best thumbnail editor I can ever ask for. Yeah, we use a lot of fire. We have fun. But he is just so brilliant. He's so intelligent, so good at what he does. I have an amazing person there. I do have a graphic design firm that helps me with logos and things, but primarily my #1 editor is who I work with for graphics. So thank you. Kevin with the 2 says, will Fonnie get voted out? I really don't know. I know she has a lot of support, and I know Courtney Kramer is her challenger, but the issue is that Courtney doesn't have a lot of experience. So it really is up to the voters. We will see. We will see, Kevin. So I honestly don't know. That's why I want to watch tonight. It's going to be interesting. Shout out to Kai Pop, who became a member. Thank you so much, Kai Pop. Where you at? Are you in California? I see some palm trees in that picture. Let us know. The Lioness, the Huntress, gifted a membership. I think you had sent a Cash App too. So I'm going to check that out. Thank you, sis. Shout out to PJ Ed. Ed W. Became a member. Welcome so much, sis. That's going to come in handy. It could come in handy tonight or when we talk to Miss Westmoreland. So it's really great that you guys are joining our community as members. Thank you so much. Shout out to Toby with the 2. No comment, no question for your love of the game. Fred became a member. Welcome. Captain Jones is in here with the 20. Says, from my puppy, Miss Marie. Thank you so much, Captain Jones. Luna is down here scratching. She's itching and scratching. I don't know why. She just took her flea and tick stuff. So that's concerning. Maybe it's bath time. But huge shout out to your pup, Miss Marie. Hope she is having a great night. Regina became a member. Welcome, Gina. You're going to love it over here, sis. Sticks to Born. I haven't seen you in so long with the 5. Says no evidence, gang. None. So that's why it's, as a taxpayer, that's why it's even more insulting. As a juror, I don't even want to put myself in the shoes of these people. One of them trying to get out today. I can't think of it. Miss Bobbitt became a new member. Like your hairdo. Welcome, Miss Bobbitt. Kamala back with another 2 says it's rude to ask about politics and religion. Yeah, I do think it's a personal choice. I mean, I think I told you guys, even at the polls, I went, I forget what part of Atlanta I was in. I think it was around Midtown. And everybody was super respectful. I told you guys, like the poll person that helped me, his name was Rico, and I was wearing my Where's Rico shirt. So that was fun. He was cool. But like some of the other people, some of the women were like, you're going to do the right thing. It's like, shit. I thought we weren't supposed to be looking. Like it was to the point, guys. I had my ballot and I was like, I don't want anybody to look at it. Let me pick. Like some of these are big decisions, but even legislative decisions. Some of you guys are in states where your states are trying to propose laws. They're trying to create laws. And you might not align with people that are in your friends or family group. So not only do you have a presidential pick, in Georgia, we have a DA pick. You might have some school board picks or different parts of government, sheriffs, things of the like. It's different in every state, in every county, specific to your county. In some instances, you might have to pick people that don't have challengers. And I mean, you gotta fill in the bubble. So you do that, but also just the legislative things that are in there. And I don't think a lot of people talk about the legislative part too. Big part of government is the legislative branch creates laws in your state, right? Those decisions are intimate too. Those decisions, in my opinion, should be private. But at the same time, what is the process of democracy? If you want to convince other people to vote for an ideal or something that you agree with, what a campaign is essentially marketing. You got to let people know what options and what decisions they have to make, and you have to convince them to pick a side. You know, you guys see, Kamala's campaign strategy, which, in fairness, has been kind of rushed. It's been very rushed. A lot of people were like, Joe, come, Joe, oh my God, Joe. Like, you falling over stuff. I like you. Ice cream, Joe. Tag Kamala in, Joe. Like, let it go, Joe. You have that. But then at the same time, you have a lot of strong Trump supporters as well. You also have a lot of things that he's been in the news. You've got the court cases, but at the same time, you also have assassination attempts. So this is, it's just been a crazy year. These are big decisions that people have to make. And I do think that we should allow them to make them without judgment. It is what it is. Let people vote. But the important part is to vote. Thank you, Kamala. Shout out to our favorite Aussie who's probably going to be watching. Like, what's America going to be doing? Nene's going to be watching from down under. Like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all going to pick? Right? She sends a super sticker. Thank you so much, sis. Victoria with the 2 says, man, where the snitches at? Love you, AB. Love you right back, Victoria. Hope you have a great night, sis. And hopefully we see you back here tonight. Professional insurance advisor. Love the picture. Love the name with the $2 super chat. No comment, no question. Pure love of the game. Thank you so much. I'm going to come to my Cash App crew, guys, because what we did earlier, Lead and I kind of, we started early and we got out of here very fast this morning. So I want to come to my Cash App crew that I didn't catch on his side earlier. All right. It's very important to me that I read each and every single one of these, starting with E. Capone. If you're watching, he hit me with a 5 and says, I'm using your new pic as my wallpaper. That's the thing, guys. I just want to encourage people to vote. If you check out my community tab, we did a photo shoot Sunday. Rosie the Riveter. I showed you guys some of the picture, the Riveter, sorry. I said Riveter yesterday. People were like, that's not how it's pronounced. I was like, all right, I made a mistake. I'm a streamer. I pronounce words wrong sometimes. It happens. But anyway, posted a sneak peek picture for you guys yesterday on the community tab, showed you a sneak peek in yesterday's stream, sent it off to the photographer today. She's going to have some election result pictures for us tonight. They're not election driven. They're really about the suits and the brand. But yeah, so I sent those off to her this morning. I'm really excited about that. Who else we got? Shout out to Anthony with the 10 says, I'm late to the game. I look forward to the appeal recap. For those that missed it, Lead and I did have an opportunity to look at Brian Steele's appeal for Mr. Blaylock, who is one of the defendants tied to Little Rod's appeal as well. We saw him in front of the Georgia Supreme Court this morning. Huge opportunity. And you can see how that is different because you're in front of a panel of justices. And as an attorney, if you're bringing something up on appeal, your client's not in the room, but these justices are hammering you with questions. You really have to be able to think on your feet. And of course, we know that Brian did a great job with that. Henry hit me with the 2, says, love what you do. Thank you, Henry. Scrolling. Shout out to Darren with the 5, says, first video on the channel out. Can I get some love? Shout out to Darren. I wish we said this on Lead side, but if you are taking up content creation, I'm really excited and proud of you. That would be great. And of course, once we know the name of your channel, we'll be happy to share it. Anthony back with another 2 says, poll, number of times people perform CPR to a stranger versus someone that they know. That is a good question, but we will see. We'll do that next time when we're on Lead side. Mike sends me 10, says for YouTube. He sent me his username, but that was earlier. Thank you, Mike. I don't know if I was here or on the other side. Shout out to Camilla with the 5 says, can I get a close-up of your porcelain statue? Oh, that's Lady Justice. So in my move from Atlanta to Boston, she lost her arm. She usually holds a sword. Oh my God. And even a scale. She's all bent up. Like, she should be holding this. It's so bad. This is embarrassing. It's so bad that I tried to fix her. I just need to buy another one. This is how ratchet I am. I tried to fix this with staples. You can't see it. I was like, oh, it broke. So I tried to fix it with staples. This was expensive. I have to buy a new one. Man, I'm just going to do that tonight. But yes, Camilla, I need to buy another one. Chantel hit me with the 20. Thank you, Chantel. She says, thank you for all your hard work, AV. You're appreciated. Thank you, Chantel. That means a lot to me. Very, very sweet of you. The lioness hits me with a 5 and says, for a shot of espresso. Thank you, sis. I'll take you up on that. And I think that does it for us. So tonight, guys, we are going to have an election watch party. You're more than welcome to join us here. I'm probably going to start it around 8:30. That being said, I've got about a few hours to get Luna walked, get some dinner done, and then we will meet you guys back here in a few. All right, y'all. I'll see you in a little bit. Stay safe out there. See you in the next one. Vote. You still have time if you haven't done it already. We'll see you soon. Bye.